Sir Gawayne, and The Green Knight, an alliterative romance poem, Ob. 1360 AD, by the author of Early English Alliterative Poems. Re-edited from Cotton. Ms. Nero, A.X. in the British Museum by Richard Morris, editor of Hample's Prick of Conscience, Early English Alliterative Poems, etc., member of the Council of the Philological Society. Second edition, revised 1869. London 1864. John Childs & Son, Printers. Preface to the first edition. In re-editing the present romance poem, I have been saved all labor of transcription by using the very accurate text contained in Sir F. Madden's Sir Gawayne. I have not only read his copy with the manuscript, but also the proof sheets as they came to hand, hoping by this means to give the reader a text free from any errors of transcription. The present edition differs from that of the earlier one in having the contractions of the manuscript expanded, and side notes added to the text to enable the reader to follow with some degree of ease the author's pleasant narrative of Sir Gawayne's adventures. The glossary is taken from Sir F. Madden's Sir Gawayne, to which, for the better interpretation of the text, I have made several additions, and have, moreover, glossed nearly all the words previously left unexplained. For a description of the manuscript, and particulars relating to the authorship and dialect of the present work, the reader is referred to the preface to Early English Alliterative Poems. R.M. London, December 22, 1864. Footnote 1. Sir F. Madden has most generously placed at the disposal of the Early English Text Society any of his works which it may determine to re-edit. Introduction. No knight of the Round Table has been so highly honored by the old romance writers as Sir Gawayne, the son of Loth and nephew to the renowned Arthur. They delighted to describe him as Gawayne the Good, a man matchless on mould, the most gracious that under God lived, the hardiest of hand, the most fortunate in arms, and the most polite in hall, whose knowledge, knighthood, kindly works, doings, doughtiness, and deeds of arms were known in all lands. When Arthur beheld the dead body of his kinsman lying on the ground bathed in blood, he is said to have exclaimed, "O righteous God, this blood were worthy to be preserved and enshrined in gold." Our author, too, loves to speak of his hero in similar terms of praise, calling him the knight faultless in his 5 wits, void of every offense, and adorned with every earthly virtue. He represents him as one whose trust was in the 5 wounds, and in whom the 5 virtues which distinguished the true knight were more firmly established than in any other on earth. The author of the present story, who, as we know from his religious poems, had an utter horror of moral impurity, could have chosen no better subject for a romance in which amusement and moral instruction were to be combined. In the following tale he shows how the true knight, though tempted sorely not once alone, but twice, nay thrice, breaks not his vow of chastity, but turns aside the tempter's shafts with the shield of purity and arm of faith, and so passes scatheless through the perilous defile of trial and opportunity seeming safe. But while our author has borrowed many of the details of his story from the Roman de Percival by Christian de Troyes, he has made the narrative more attractive by the introduction of several original and highly interesting passages, which throw light on the manners and amusements of our ancestors. The following elaborate descriptions are well deserving of especial notice. I. The mode of completely arming a knight, LL, 560-8589. Roman 2. The hunting and breaking the deer, LL, 11-26-1359. Roman 3. The hunting and unlacing the wild boar, LL, 14-12-16-14. Roman 4. A fox hunt, LL, 1675-1921. The following is an outline of the story of Gawayne's adventures, more or less in the words of the writer himself. Arthur, the greatest of Britain's kings, holds the Christmas festival at Camelot, surrounded by the celebrated knights of the Round Table, noble lords, the most renowned under heaven, and ladies the loveliest that ever had life, LL. 3757. This noble company celebrate the new year by a religious service, by the bestowal of gifts, and the most joyous mirth. Lords and ladies take their seats at the table. Queen Guinevere, the grey-eyed, gaily dressed, sits at the dais, the high table or table of state, where two sat Gawayne and Iwain together with other worthies of the Round Table, LL. 5884, 107 115. Arthur, in mood as joyful as a child, his blood young and his brain wild, declares that he will not eat nor sit long at the table until some adventurous thing, some uncouth tale, some great marvel, or some encounter of arms has occurred to mark the return of the new year, LL. 85106. The first course was announced with cracking of trumpets, with the noise of nakers and noble pipes. Each two had dishes 12, good beer and bright wine both. Scarcely was the first course served when another noise than that of music was heard. There rushes in at the hall door a knight of gigantic stature, the greatest on earth in measure high. He was clothed entirely in green, and rode upon a green foal, LL. 116 178. Fair wavy hair fell about the shoulders of the Green Knight, and a great beard like a bush hung upon his breast, LL. 179 202. The knight carried no helmet, shield, or spear, but in one hand a holly bough, and in the other an axe huge and unmeet, the edge of which was as keen as a sharp razor, LL. 203 220. Thus arrayed, the Green Knight enters the hall without saluting anyone. The first word that he uttered was, "Where is the governor of this gang? Gladly would I see him and with himself speak reason." To the knights he cast his eye, looking for the most renowned. Much did the noble assembly marvel to see a man and a horse of such a hue, green as the grass. Even greener they seemed than green enamel on bright gold. Many marvels had they seen, but none such as this. They were afraid to answer, but sat stone still in a dead silence, as if overpowered by sleep. Not all from fear, but some for courtesy, LL. 221 249. Then Arthur before the high dais salutes the Green Knight, bids him welcome, and entreats him to stay a while at his court. The knight says that his errand is not to abide in any dwelling, but to seek the most valiant of the heroes of the Round Table, that he may put his courage to the proof, and thus satisfy himself as to the fame of Arthur's court. "I come," he says, "in peace, as ye may see by this branch that I bear here. Had I come with hostile intentions, I should not have left my hauberk, helmet, shield, sharp spear, and other weapons behind me, but because I desire no war, my weeds are softer. If thou be so bold as all men say, thou wilt grant me the request I am about to make." "Sir courteous knight," replies Arthur, "if thou cravest battle only, here failest thou not to fight." "Nay," says the Green Knight, "I seek no fighting. Hereabout on this bench are only beardless children. Were I arrayed in arms on a high steed, no man here would be a match for me, LL. 252-82. But it is now Christmas time, and this is the new year, and I see around me many brave ones. If any be so bold in his blood that dare strike a stroke for another, I shall give him this rich axe to do with it whatever he pleases. I shall abide the first blow just as I sit, and will stand him a stroke, stiff on this floor, provided that I deal him another in return. And yet give I him respite, a 12-month and a day. Now haste and let's see tight soon, dare any here in aught say." If he astounded them at first, much more so did he after this speech, and fear held them all silent. The knight, righting himself in his saddle, rolls fiercely his red eyes about, bends his bristly green brows, and strokes his beard awaiting a reply. But finding none that would carp with him, he exclaims, "What is this Arthur's house, the fame of which has spread through so many realms? Forsooth, the renown of the Round Table is overturned by the word of one man's speech, for all tremble for dread without a blow being struck." LL. 283-313. With this he laughed so loud that Arthur blushed for very shame, and waxed as wroth as the wind. "I know no man," he says, "that is aghast at thy great words. Give me now thy axe, and I will grant thee thy request." Arthur seizes the axe, grasps the handle, and sternly brandishes it about, while the Green Knight, with a stern cheer and a dry countenance, stroking his beard and drawing down his coat, awaits the blow. LL. 314-335. Sir Gawayne, the nephew of the king, beseeches his uncle to let him undertake the encounter, and at the earnest entreaty of his nobles, Arthur consents to give Gawayne the game. LL. -365. Sir Gawayne then takes possession of the axe, but before the blow is dealt, the Green Knight asks the name of his opponent. "In good faith," answers the good knight, "Gawayne I am called, that bids thee to this buffet, whatever may befall after, and at this time 12-month will take from thee another, with whatever weapon thou wilt, and with no wight else alive." "By Gog," quoth the Green Knight, It pleases me well that I shall receive at thy fist that which I have sought here. Moreover, thou hast truly rehearsed the terms of the covenant. But thou shalt first pledge me thy word that thou wilt seek me thyself, wheresoever on earth thou believest I may be found, and fetch thee such wages as thou dealest me today before this company of doughty ones. Where should I seek thee? Replies Gawayne. Where is thy place? I know not thee, thy court, or thy name. I wot not where thou dwellest, but teach me thereto, tell me how thou art called, and I shall endeavor to find thee, and that I swear thee for truth and by my sure troth. That is enough in New Year, says the groom in green, if I tell thee when I have received the tap. When thou hast smitten me, then smartly I will teach thee of my house, my home, and my own name, so that thou mayest follow my track and fulfill the covenant between us. If I spend no speech, then speedest thou the better, for then mayest thou remain in thy own land and seek no further, but cease thy talking. LL 366 412. Take now thy grim tool to thee, and let us see how thou knockest. Gladly, sir, forsooth, quoth Gawayne, and his axe he brandishes. The Green Knight adjusts himself on the ground, bends slightly his head, lays his long, lovely locks over his crown, and lays bare his neck for the blow. Gawayne then gripped the axe, and, raising it on high, let it fall quickly upon the knight's neck, and severed the head from the body. The fair head fell from the neck to the earth, and many turned it aside with their feet as it rolled forth. The blood burst from the body, yet the knight never faltered nor fell. But boldly he started forth on stiff shanks and fiercely rushed forward, seized his head, and lifted it up quickly. Then he runs to his horse, the bridle he catches, steps into his stirrups, and strides aloft. His head by the hair he holds in his hands, and sits as firmly in his saddle as if no mishap had ailed him, though headless he was. LL 413 439. He turned his ugly trunk about that ugly body that bled, and, holding the head in his hand, he directed the face toward the dearest on the dais. The head lifted up its eyelids and looked abroad, and thus much spoke with its mouth, as ye may now hear. Loke Gawayne, thou be prompt to go as thou hast promised, and seek till thou find me according to thy promise made in the hearing of these knights. Get thee to the Green Chapel, I charge thee, to fetch such a dint as thou hast dealt, to be returned on New Year's morn. As the Knight of the Green Chapel I am known to many, wherefore if thou seekest thou canst not fail to find me. Therefore come, or recreant be called. With a fierce start the reins he turns, rushes out of the hall door, his head in his hand, so that the fire of the flint flew from the hoofs of his foal. To what kingdom he belonged knew none there, nor knew they from whence he had come. What then? The king and Gawayne there at that green one, they laugh and grin. Though Arthur wondered much at the marvel, he let no one see that he was at all troubled about it, but full loudly thus spake to his comely queen with courteous speech. Dear dame, today be never dismayed, well happens such craft at Christmas time. I may now proceed to meat, for I cannot deny that I have witnessed a wondrous adventure this day. LL 444-75. He looked upon Sir Gawayne and said, Now, sir, hang up thine axe, for enough has it hewn. So the weapon was hung up on high that all might look upon it, and by true title thereof tell the wonder. Then all the knights hastened to their seats at the table, so did the king and our good knight, and they were there served with all dainties, with all manner of meat and minstrelsy. Though words were wanting when they first to seat went, now are their hands full of stern work, and the marvel affords them good subject for conversation. But a year passes full quickly and never returns, the beginning is seldom like the end. Wherefore this Christmas passed away and the year after, and each season in turn followed after another. LL -520. Thus winter winds round again, and then Gawayne thinks of his wearisome journey. LL 521-535. On All Hallows Day Arthur entertains right nobly the lords and ladies of his court in honor of his nephew, for whom all courteous knights and lovely ladies were in great grief. Nevertheless they spoke only of mirth, and though joyless themselves, made many a joke to cheer the good Sir Gawayne. LL 530-6565. Early on the morrow Sir Gawayne, with great ceremony, is arrayed in his armor. LL 566-589, and thus completely equipped for his adventure he first hears mass, and afterwards takes leave of Arthur, the knights of the Round Table, and the lords and ladies of the court, who kiss him and commend him to Christ. He bids them all good day, as he thought, for evermore. LL 596-69. Very much was the warm water that poured from eyes that day. Now rides our knight through the realms of England with no companion but his foal, and no one to hold converse with save God alone. From Camelot, in Somersetshire, he proceeds through Gloucestershire and the adjoining counties into Montgomeryshire, and thence through North Wales to Holyhead, adjoining the Isle of Anglesea, LL. 670-700, from which he passes into the very narrow peninsula of Wirral, in Cheshire, where dwelt but few that loved God or man. Gawayne enquires after the Green Knight of the Green Chapel, but all the inhabitants declare that they have never seen any man of such hues of green. The knight thence pursues his journey by strange paths, over hill and moor, encountering on his way not only serpents, wolves, bulls, bears, and boars, but wood satyrs and giants. But worse than all those, however, was the sharp winter, when the cold, clear water shed from the clouds and froze ere it might fall to the earth. Nearly slain with the sleet, he slept in his armor, more nights than enough in naked rocks. LL. 700-1729. Thus in peril and plight the knight travels on until Christmas Eve, and to Mary he makes his moan that she may direct him to some abode. On the morn he arrives at an immense forest, wondrously wild, surrounded by high hills on every side, where he found hoary oaks full huge, 100 together. The hazel and the hawthorn intermingled were all overgrown with moss, and upon their boughs sat many sad birds that piteously piped for pain of the cold. Gawayne besought the Lord and Mary to guide him to some habitation where he might hear Mass, LL. 762. Scarcely had he crossed himself thrice, when he perceived a dwelling in the woods set upon a hill. It was the loveliest castle he had ever beheld. It was pitched on a prairie, with a park all about it enclosing many a tree for more than 2 miles. It shone as the sun through the bright oaks, LL. 760-3772. Gawayne urges on his steed Gringullet, and finds himself at the chief gate. He called aloud, and soon there appeared a porter on the wall, who demanded his errand. "Good sir," quoth Gawayne, "wouldst thou go to the high lord of this house, and crave a lodging for me?" "Yea, by Peter," replied the porter, "well I know that thou art welcome to dwell here as long as thou likest." The drawbridge is soon let down, and the gates opened wide to receive the knight. Many noble ones hasten to bid him welcome, LL. 773-825. They take away his helmet, sword, and shield, and many a proud one presses forward to do him honor. They bring him into the hall, where a fire was brightly burning upon the hearth. Then the lord of the land comes from his chamber and welcomes Sir Gawayne, telling him that he is to consider the place as his own. Our knight is next conducted to a bright bower, where was noble bedding curtains of pure silk, with golden hems and Tarsic tapestries upon the walls and the floors, LL. 859. Here the knight doffed his armor and put on rich robes, which so well became him that all declared that a more comely knight Christ had never made, LL. 868-83. Footnote 1. Gawayne is now in the castle of the Green Knight, who, divested of his elvish or supernatural character, appears to our knight merely as a bold one with a beaver-hued beard. A table is soon raised, and Gawayne, having washed, proceeds to meat. Many dishes are set before him, sows of various kinds, fish of all kinds, some baked in bread, others broiled on the embers, some boiled, and others seasoned with spices. The knight expresses himself well pleased, and calls it a most noble and princely feast. After dinner, in reply to numerous questions, he tells his host that he is Gawayne, one of the knights of the Round Table. When this was made known, great was the joy in the hall. Each one said softly to his companion, "Now we shall see courteous behavior and learn the terms of noble discourse, since we have amongst us that fine father of nurture. Truly God has highly favored us in sending us such a noble guest as Sir Gawayne, LL. 880-4927. At the end of the Christmas festival, Gawayne desires to take his departure from the castle, but his host persuades him to stay, promising to direct him to the Green Chapel, about 2 miles from the castle, that he may be there by the appointed time, LL. 10-29-10-82. A covenant is made between them, the terms of which were that the lord of the castle should go out early to the chase, that Gawayne meanwhile should lie in his loft at his ease, then rise at his usual hour, and afterwards sit at table with his hostess, and that at the end of the day they should make an exchange of whatever they might obtain in the interim. "Whatever I win in the wood," says the lord, "shall be yours, and what thou gettest shall be mine." LL. 1083-1125. Full early before daybreak the folk uprise, saddle their horses, and truss their mails. The noble lord of the land, arrayed for riding, eats hastily a sop, and having heard mass, proceeds with 100 hunters to hunt the wild deer, ll. 11:26–11:77. All this time Gawayne lies in his gay bed. His nap is disturbed by a little noise at the door, which is softly opened. He heaves up his head out of the clothes, and peeping through the curtains beholds a most lovely lady, the wife of his host. She came towards the bed, and the knight laid himself down quickly, pretending to be asleep. The lady stole to the bed, cast up the curtains, crept within, sat her softly on the bedside, and waited some time till the knight should awake. After lurking a while under the clothes considering what it all meant, Gawayne unlocked his eyelids, and put on a look of surprise, at the same time making the sign of the cross, as if afraid of some hidden danger, ll. -1207. "Good morrow, sir," said that fair lady. "Ye are a careless sleeper to let one enter thus. I shall bind you in your bed, of that be ye sure." "Good morrow," quoth Gawayne. "I shall act according to your will with great pleasure, but permit me to rise that I may the more comfortably converse with you." "Nay, bow, sir," said that sweet one, "ye shall not rise from your bed, for since I have caught my knight I shall hold talk with him. I ween well that ye are Sir Gawayne that all the world worships, whose honor and courtesy are so greatly praised. Now ye are here, and we are alone, my lord and his men being afar off, other men too are in bed, so are my maidens, and the door is safely closed. I shall use my time well while it lasts. Ye are welcome to my person to do with it as ye please, and I will be your servant. ll. -1240. Gawayne behaves most discreetly, for the remembrance of his forthcoming adventure at the Green Chapel prevents him from thinking of love, ll. -1289. At last the lady takes leave of the knight by catching him in her arms and kissing him, ll. 1290–1307. The day passes away merrily, and at dusk the lord of the castle returns from the chase. He presents the venison to Gawayne according to the previous covenant between them. Our knight gives his host a kiss as the only piece of good fortune that had fallen to him during the day. "It is good," says the other, "and would be much better if you would tell me where you won such bliss, ll. 1308–1394. "That was not in our covenant," replies Gawayne, "so try me no more." After much laughing on both sides, they proceed to supper, and afterwards, while the choice wine is being carried round, Gawayne and his host renew their agreement. Late at night, they take leave of each other and hasten to their beds. By the time that the cock had crowed and cackled thrice, the lord was up, and after meat and mass, were over the hunters make for the woods, where they give chase to a wild boar who had grown old and mischievous, ll. -1467. While the sportsmen are hunting this wild swine, our lovely knight lies in his bed. He is not forgotten by the lady, who pays him an early visit, seeking to make further trial of his virtues. She sits softly by his side and tells him that he has forgotten what she taught him the day before, ll. 1468–1486. "I taught you of kissing," says she. "That becomes every courteous knight." Gawayne says that he must not take that which is forbidden him. The lady replies that he is strong enough to enforce his own wishes. Our knight answers that every gift not given with a good will is worthless. His fair visitor then inquires how it is that he who is so skilled in the true sport of love and so renowned a knight has never talked to her of love, ll. 1487–1524. "You ought," she says, "to show and teach a young thing like me some tokens of true love's crafts. I come hither and sit here alone to learn of you some game. Do teach me of your wit while my lord is from home." Gawayne replies that he cannot undertake the task of expounding true love and tales of arms to one who has far more wisdom than he possesses. Thus did our knight avoid all appearance of evil, though sorely pressed to do what was wrong, ll. 1525–1552. The lady, having bestowed 2 kisses upon Sir Gawayne, takes her leave of him, ll. 1550–1557. At the end of the day, the lord of the castle returns home with the shields and head of the wild boar. He shows them to his guest, who declares that, such a brawn of a beast, nor such sides of a swine, he never before has seen. Gawayne takes possession of the spoil according to covenant, and in return he bestows 2 kisses upon his host, who declares that his guest has indeed been rich with such chaffer, ll. -1647. After much persuasion, Gawayne consents to stop at the castle another day, ll. 1648–1685. Early on the morrow, the lord and his men hasten to the woods and come upon the track of a fox, the hunting of which affords them plenty of employment and sport, ll. 1680–1730. Meanwhile our good knight sleeps soundly within his comely curtains. He is again visited by the lady of the castle. So gaily was she attired, and so faultless of her features, that great joy warmed the heart of Sir Gawayne. With soft and pleasant smiles, they smite into mirth, and are soon engaged in conversation. Had not Mary thought of her knight, he would have been in great peril, ll. 1731–1769. So sorely does the fair one press him with her love, that he fears lest he should become a traitor to his host. The lady inquires whether he has a mistress to whom he has plighted his troth. The knight swears by St. John that he neither has nor desires one. This answer causes the dame to sigh for sorrow, and telling him that she must depart, she asks for some gift, if it were only a glove, by which she might think on the knight and lessen her grief. ll. 1770–1800. Gawayne assures her that he has nothing worthy of her acceptance, that he is on an uncouth errand, and therefore has no men with no mails containing precious things, for which he is truly sorry. Quoth that loves him, 1. Though I had naught of yours, yet should he have of mine. Thus saying, she offers him a rich ring of red gold with a shining stone standing aloft, that shone like the beams of the bright sun. The knight refused the gift, as he had nothing to give in return. Since ye refuse my ring, says the lady, because it seems too rich, and ye would not be beholden to me, I shall give you my girdle that is less valuable, ll. 1801–1835. But Gawayne replies that he will not accept gold or reward of any kind, though ever in hot and in cold, he will be her true servant. Do ye refuse it, asks the lady, because it seems simple and of little value? Whoso knew the virtues that are knit therein would estimate it more highly. For he who is girded with this green lace cannot be wounded or slain by any man under heaven. The knight thinks a while, and it strikes him that this would be a jewel for the jeopardy that he had to undergo at the Green Chapel. So he not only accepts the lace, but promises to keep the possession of it a secret, ll. 1836–1865. By that time the lady had kissed him thrice, and she then takes her leave and leaves him there. Gawayne rises, dresses himself in noble array, and conceals the love-lace where he might find it again. He then hies to mass, shrives him of his misdeeds, and obtains absolution. On his return to the hall he solaces the ladies with comely carols and all kinds of joy, ll. -1892. The dark night came, and then the lord of the castle, having slain the fox, returns to his dear home, where he finds a fire brightly turning and his guest amusing the ladies, ll. 1893–1927. Gawayne, in fulfillment of his agreement, kisses his host thrice. By Christ, quoth the other knight, ye have caught much bliss. I have hunted all this day, and naught have I got but the skin of this foul fox, the devil have the goods, and that is full poor for to pay for such precious things, ll. 1928–1951. After the usual evening's entertainment, Gawayne retires to rest. The next morning, being New Year's Day, is cold and stormy. Snow falls, and the dales are full of drift. Our knight in his bed locks his eyelids, but full little he sleeps. By each cock that crows he knows the hour, and before daybreak he calls for his chamberlain, who quickly brings him his armor, ll. 1950–2014. While Gawayne clothed himself in his rich weeds, he forgot not the lace, the lady's gift, but with it doubly girded his loins. He wore it not for its rich ornaments, but to save himself when it behoved him to suffer, and as a safeguard against sword or knife, ll. 2015–2046. Having thanked his host and all the renowned assembly for the great kindness he had experienced at their hands, he steps into stirrups and strides aloft, ll. 2047–2068. The drawbridge is let down, and the broad gates unbarred and borne open upon both sides, and the knight, after commending the castle to Christ, passes thereout and goes on his way accompanied by his guide, that should teach him to turn to that place where he should receive the much-dreaded blow. They climb over cliffs, where each hill had a hat and a mist cloak, until the next morn, when they find themselves on a full high hill covered with snow. The servant bids his master remain a while, saying, I have brought you hither at this time, and now ye are not far from that noted place that ye have so often inquired after. The place that ye press to is esteemed full perilous, and there dwells a man in that waste the worst upon earth, for he is stiff and stern and loves to strike, and greater is he than any man upon Middle-earth, and his body is bigger than the best four in Arthur's house. He keeps the Green Chapel, there passes none by that place, however proud in arms, that he does not ding him to death with dint of his hand. He is a man immoderate and no mercy uses, for be it churl or chaplain that by the chapel rides, monk or mass priest, or any man else, it is as pleasant to him to kill them as to go alive himself. Wherefore I tell thee truly, come ye there, ye be killed, though ye had 20 lives to spend. He has dwelt there long of yore, and on field much sorrow has wrought. Against his sore dints ye may not defend you, LL. 2069-21-17. Therefore, good Sir Gawayne, let the man alone, and for God's sake go by some other path, and then I shall hie me home again. I swear to you by. Footnote 1. He only in part keeps to his covenant, as he holds back the Lovelace. God and all his saints, that I will never say that ever ye attempted to flee from any man. Gawayne thanks his guide for his well-meant kindness, but declares that to the Green Chapel he will go, though the owner thereof be a stern knave. For God can devise means to save his servants. Marry, quoth the other, since it pleases thee to lose thy life, I will not hinder thee. Have thy helmet on thy head, thy spear in thy hand, and ride down this path by yon rock-side, till thou be brought to the bottom of the valley. Then look a little on the plain, on thy left hand, and thou shalt see in that slade the chapel itself, and the burly knight that guards it, LL. 21-1821-48. Now, farewell, Gawayne the noble. For all the gold upon ground I would not go with thee nor bear thee fellowship through this wood, on foot farther. Thus having spoken, he gallops away and leaves the knight alone. Gawayne now pursues his journey, rides through the dale and looks about. He sees no signs of a resting place, but only high and steep banks, and the very shadows of the high wood seemed wild and distorted. No chapel, however, could he discover. After a while he sees a round hill by the side of a stream. Thither he goes, alights, and fastens his horse to the branch of a tree. He walks about the hill, debating with himself what it might be. It had a hole in the one end and on each side, and everywhere overgrown with grass, but whether it was only an old cave or a crevice of an old crag he could not tell, LL. -2188. Now, indeed, quoth Gawayne, a desert is here. This oratory is ugly with herbs overgrown. It is a fitting place for the man in green to deal here his devotions after the devil's manner. Now I feel it is the fiend, the devil, in my 5 wits that has covenanted with me, that he may destroy me. This is a chapel of misfortune evil betide it. It is the most cursed kirk that ever I came in. With his helmet on his head and spear in his hand, he roams up to the rock, and then he hears from that high hill beyond the brook a wondrous wild noise. Lo! It clattered in the cliff as if one upon a grindstone were grinding a scythe. It whirred like the water at a mill, and rushed and re-echoed, terrible to hear. Though my life I forego, says Gawayne, no noise shall cause me to fear. Then he cried aloud, who dwells in this place, discourse with me to hold? For now is good Gawayne going right here if any brave wight will hie him hither, either now or never. LL. 21-89-20-16. Abide, quoth one on the bank above, over his head, and thou shalt have all in haste that I promised thee once. Soon there comes out of a hole in the crag, with a fell weapon a Danish axe quite new, the man in the green, clothed as at first as his legs, locks, and beard. But now he is on foot and walks on the earth. When he reaches the stream, he hops over and boldly strides about. He meets Sir Gawayne, who tells him that he is quite ready to fulfill his part of the compact. Gawayne, quoth that green gome, man, may God preserve thee. Truly thou art welcome to my place, and thou hast timed thy travel as a true man should. Thou knowest the covenants made between us at this time 12-month, that on New Year's Day I should return thee thy blow. We are now in this valley by ourselves, and can do as we please, LL. 22-17-22-46. Have therefore thy helmet off thy head, and have here thy pay. Let us have no more talk than when thou didst strike off my head with a single blow. Nay, by God, quoth Gawayne, I shall not begrudge thee thy will for any harm that may happen, but will stand still while thou strikest. Then he stoops a little and shows his bare neck, unmoved by any fear. The Green Knight takes up his grim tool, and with all his force raises it aloft, as if he meant utterly to destroy him. As the axe came gliding down, Gawayne shrank a little with the shoulders from the sharp iron. The other withheld his weapon, and then reproved the prince with many proud words. Thou art not Gawayne that is so good esteemed, that never feared for no host by hill nor by vale, for now thou fleest for fear before thou feelest harm, LL. 22-47-22-72. Such cowardice of that night did I never hear. I never flinched nor fled when thou didst aim at me in King Arthur's house. My head flew to my feet, and yet I never fled, wherefore I deserve to be called the better man. Quoth Gawayne, I shunted once, but will do so no more though my head fall on the stones. But hasten and bring me to the point, deal me my destiny and do it out of hand, for I shall stand thee a stroke and start no more until thine axe has hit me have here my troth. Have it thee then, said the other, and heaves the axe aloft, and looks as savagely as if he were mad. He aims at the other mightily, but withholds his hand ere it might hurt. Gawayne readily abides the blow without flinching with any member, and stood still as a stone or a tree fixed in rocky ground with 100 roots. Then merrily the other did speak, Since now thou hast thy heart whole it behoves me to strike, so take care of thy neck. Gawayne answers with great wrath, Thrash on, thou fierce man, thou threatenest too long, I believe thy own heart fails thee. Forsooth, quoth the other, since thou speakest so boldly, I will no longer delay. LL 2273-2304. Then, contracting both lips and brow, he made ready to strike, and let fall his axe on the bare neck of Sir Gawayne. Though he hammered fiercely, he only severed the hide, causing the blood to flow. When Gawayne saw his blood on the snow, he quickly seized his helmet and placed it on his head. Then he drew out his bright sword, and thus angrily spoke. Cease, man, of thy blow, bid me no more. I have received a stroke in this place without opposition, but if thou givest me any more readily shall I requite thee, of that be thou sure. Our covenant stipulates one stroke, and therefore now cease. The Green Knight, resting on his axe, looks on Sir Gawayne, as bold and fearless he there stood, and then with a loud voice thus addresses the knight. Bold knight, be not so wroth, no man here has wronged thee. LL 2305-2339. I promised thee a stroke, and thou hast it, so hold thee well pleased. I could have dealt much worse with thee, and caused thee much sorrow. 2 blows I aimed at thee, for twice thou kissedst my fair wife, but I struck thee not, because thou restoredst them to me according to agreement. At the 3rd time thou failedst, and therefore I have given thee that tap. That woven girdle, given thee by my own wife, belongs to me. I know well thy kisses, thy conduct also, and the wooing of my wife, for I wrought it myself. I sent her to try thee, and truly methinks thou art the most faultless man that ever on foot went. Still, sir, thou wert wanting in good faith. But as it proceeded from no immorality, thou being only desirous of saving thy life, the less I blame thee. Gawayne stood confounded, the blood rushed into his face, and he shrank within himself for very shame. Cursed, he cried, be cowardice and covetousness both, in you are villainy and vice that virtue destroy. Then he takes off the girdle and throws it to the knight in green, cursing his cowardice and covetousness. The Green Knight, laughing, thus spoke. Thou hast confessed so clean, and acknowledged thy faults, that I hold thee as pure as thou hadst never forfeited since thou wast first born. I give thee, sir, the gold-hemmed girdle as a token of thy adventure at the Green Chapel. Come now to my castle, and we shall enjoy together the festivities of the new year. LL 2340-2406. Nay, forsooth, quoth the knight, but for your kindness may God requite you. Commend me to that courteous one your comely wife, who with her crafts has beguiled me. But it is no uncommon thing for a man to come to sorrow through women's wiles, for so was Adam beguiled with one, and Solomon with many. Samson was destroyed by Delilah, and David suffered much through Bathsheba. It were indeed great bliss for a man to love them well and believe them not. Since the greatest upon earth were so beguiled, methinks I should be excused. But God reward you for your girdle, which I will ever wear in remembrance of my fault, and when pride shall exalt me, a look to this Lovelace shall lessen it. LL 2407-2438. But since ye are the lord of yonder land, from whom I have received so much honor, tell me truly your right name, and I shall ask no more questions. Quoth the other, I am called Bernlac de Hot Desert, through might of Morgan la Fay, who dwells in my house. Much has she learnt of Merlin, who knows all your knights at home. She brought me to your hall for to essay the prowess of the Round Table. She wrought this wonder to bury view of your wits, hoping to have grieved Guinevere and affrighted her to death by means of the man that spoke with his head in his hand before the high table. She is even thine aunt, Arthur's half-sister. Wherefore come to thine aunt, for all my household love thee. Gawayne refuses to accompany the Green Knight, and so, with many embraces and kind wishes, they separate, the one to his castle, the other to Arthur's court. After passing through many wild ways, our knight recovers from the wound in his neck, and at last comes safe and sound to the court of King Arthur. Great then was the joy of all. The king and queen kiss their brave knight and make many inquiries about his journey. He tells them of his adventures, hiding nothing, the chance of the chapel, the cheer of the knight, the love of the lady, and lastly of the lace. Groaning for grief and shame, he shows them the cut in his neck, which he had received for his unfaithfulness, ll. 24, 39, 20, 504. The king and his courtiers comfort the knight, they laugh loudly at his adventures, and unanimously agree that those lords and ladies that belonged to the Round Table, and each knight of the brotherhood should ever after wear a bright green belt for Gawayne's sake. And he upon whom it was conferred honoured it evermore after. Thus in Arthur's time this adventure befell, whereof the Brutus books bear witness, ll. 2505-2530. I need not say that the Brutus books we possess do not contain the legend here set forth, though it is not much more improbable than some of the statements contained in them. If the reader desires to know the relation in which this and the like stories stand to the original Arthur legends, he will find it discussed in Sir F. Madden's preface to his edition of Sir Gawayne, which also contains a sketch of the very different views taken of Sir Gawayne by the different romance writers. Into this and other literary questions I do not enter here, as I have nothing to add to Sir F. Madden's statements. But in the text of the poem, I have differed from him in some few readings, which will be found noticed in the notes and glossary. As the manuscript is fast fading, I am glad that the existence of the early English Text Society has enabled us to secure a wider diffusion of its contents before the original shall be no longer legible. We want nothing but an increased supply of members to enable us to give to a large circle of readers many an equally interesting record of early English minds. Note, the Old English yogh characters have been translated both upper and lowercase yoghs to digit 3s. There are Unicode allocations for these in HTML and 540 and 541, but at present no font which implements these. Substituting the digit 3 seemed a workable compromise which anybody can read. The linked HTML Old English yogh file uses N540 and N541 representations and is included for users with specialist fonts. Sir Gawayne and the Green Knight 3T. 1. Scythen the siege and the assault Wat 3 seized at Troy. The bore 3 Britain and Brent to Brond 3 and Ask 3. The tulk that the trams of Tresonthur row 3T, Wat 3 tried for his treachery, the truest on earth. Hit Wat 3 Ennius the Athel, and his high kind, that Scythen depressed Pruences, and patrons become Welny 3 E of Al the Wheel in the West Isles. Fro rich Romulus to Rome ricais him Swithe, with Gret Bobonts that bur 3 E he bigs Vipon Feast, and Newings hit is on Nome, as hit now hat, Titius to Tuscan and Teldas Bigens, 12 Langabard in Lombardy lifts VP Holmes, and fur hour the French flowed Felix Brutus on money bonks full broad Breton he set 3, with win. 16 where, and rake, and wonder by scythe 3 hat 3 want thurin knee, and oft both bliss and blunder falskeet hat 3 skyfted sin. Roman 2. And quen this Breton wat 3 bigged by this burn rich, bold Breton thurin knee, Barrett that loften, in money turn time teen that row 310. Mo furlies on this fold han fallen here oft 24 then in any other that I wot, sin that ilk time. Bodavaleth that here bolt of bredigny kinges I wot 3 Arthur the hendist. As I have heard tell, for Thyan anter and erd iadol to Shaw, Thadaselli in C3T some men hit Holden, and an outrage onter of Arthur 3 wonder 3, if 3 E will listen this lay bot on little quile. I shall tell hit, as dit as I in town heard, 32 with Tonge as hit is stad and stoken, in story stiff and stronge, with lel letters loken, 36 in lond so hat 3 ben lunge. Side note D. Listen a while, and ye shall hear the story of an outrageous adventure. 3. This king lay at Camelot Vipon Christmas, with money Luffleich lord, lead 3 of the best, Rekenly of the Round Table Aletho rich breather, 40 with rich rule Ori 3T, and rich les mirths. Third tornade tulks by time 3 fall money, easted full Ialile thighs gentle nigh 3 tess, Scythen cared to the court, carols to make. 44 for thir the fest wat 3 illich full 15 days, with a lethe meat and the mirth that men couth avies, such glom and glee glorious to hear. Dara dine v pion day, dancing on NY3 tess, 48 al wat 3 hap vipon he 3 E and holla 3 and chamber 3, with lord 3 and ladies, as Lewis Tim tho 3T. with all the wheel of the world a thay 1/3 samen, the most kid nigh 3t3 viender Chris Selwyn, 52 and the lawlacus ladies that you lif hadden and he the cum locust king that the court haldas. For al wat 3 this fair folk in her first age on sill. 56 the happenest viender Hewen, king high 3 est moan of will. Hit were now gretni to newen so hardy a here on hill. Roman 4. While NW3 wat 3, so 3 ep that hit wat 3 NWE comin, that day double on the dese wat 3 the douth serud, fro the king wat 3 comin with nigh 3 tess into the holla, the chaunter of the chapel chewed to an end. 64 loud cry wat 3 thir kest of clerk 3 and other, Noel nated onu, new and full oft. And Scythen rich forth runnin to riche Hansel, ed 3 airs 3 ifs on high 3, 3 elda hem by hund, 68 debated busily about tho gifts. Ladies la 3'd full loud, tho 3 they lost hadden and he that one wat 3 not roth, that may 3 well traw. Aleth this mirth they madden to the meat time, 72 when they had washen, worthily they went to seat, the best burn I aboff, as hit best semmed, ween genor full gay, graithed in the mids. Dressed on the dara des, dubbed al about, 76 smal sendel by sides, a cellar here hour of tried talos, of tars tappets in nog, that were embroided and be 10 with the best gems, that my 3t be preude of prize with pennies to buy, 80 in day, the cum locus to descry, thir glent with y3 n grey, a semloker that ewer he see 3e, 84 soth mo 3t no moan say. Side note e, a lady fairer of form might no one say he had ever before seen. 5. Bought Arthur wold not eat till al were serud. He wot 3 so ially of his eifnes, and some quat child jurd, his lif liked him lie 3t. He lowied the lass 88 author to lunge lie, or to lunge sit, so bisid him his 3 onge blowed and his brain wilda. And also another maner mewed him eke, that he thir 3 noble had nomen, ho wold newer eat 92 vipon such a dare day, him duest were of some oentrous thing in viencouth tale, of some main merrywell, that he my 3t traw of alders of arms of other oentrous, 96 other some seg him by so 3t of some psycher nigh 3t, to ein with him in easting and iaparde to lay lead lif for lif, lu vichon other, as fortune wold fulson home the fair to ha. 100 this wat 3 kinges countenance where he in court were, at vch farand fest among his free many, in holla, thir 4 of face so fear. 104 he sty 3 tle 3 stiff in stall, full 3 ep in that and w3 air, much mirth he maws with a le. 6. Thus thir stands in stale the stiff king his Selwyn, 108 talkend, by 4 the high 3 table of trifles full hend there goad gowan wat 3 graithed, Gwenor by side and agrane a lauder main on that other side sits both the kinges sister sons, and full psycher nigh 3 tess. 112 Biscop Bodwin aboff Bijin 3 the table, and Iwin, Virin son, et wit him Selwyn. Thighs were d3t on the des, and Durworthly serod, and Scythen money psycher seg at the sidboard 3. 116 then the first cores come with cracking of trumps, with money baner full bry 3t, that thurby henged, nwe nacron noise with the noble pipes, wilda werbles and y3t wackant loat. 120 that money hurt full high 3 hef at her toches. Daints drew in therewith of full dara meats, foison of the fresh, and on so field disjes, that pine to fin the place the pepple byforn 124 for to set the silwiner, that seer sows halden on cloth. Ik lead as he loud himselu thur lat without 10 loth, 128 I2 had disjes twelu, good burr, and bry 3t win both. 7. Now will I of horse serus say yow no more, for vchy may well wit no want that thur, were 132, and other noise full new knee 3 ed billiu. That the lude my 3t half lu lifload to cash. For veneath wat 3 the noise not a while seized, and the feest curse in the court kinley serud, 136 thur hails in at the holla door an aglic maester. On the most on the mold on measure hig. Fro the swire to the swange so swear and so thick. And his lins and his limes so lunge and so gret, 140 half etting in erd I hope that he were. Botmoan most I algate min him to Benny, and that the merriest in his muckle that my 3t ride, for of back and of breast al were his bodie stern, 144 bought his wam and his wast were worthily smale. And ale his fetchers fall 3 and, informed that he haid, full clean, for wonder of his hwe men haid. 148 set in his semblance saying, he furred as freak were fade, and our ral incur green. 8. And al graithed in green thiscombe and his weds, 152 a straight coat full stree 3t. That steck on his sides, a mere mantle aboff, mensked with a knee with peller pured appert the pane full clean with blithe blonner full bry 3t, and his hod both, 156 that wat 3 la 3t fro his lock 3, and laid on his shoulders heem well hailed. Hose of that same green, that spennet on his sparler, and clean spurs viender of bry 3t gold. Vipon silk boards, barred full rich 160 and scoles viender shanks, theer the shock rides, and ale his vesture urily wat 3 clean verdure, both the bars of his belt and other blithe stones, that were richly railed in his array clean. 164 about himself and his saddle, Vipon silk work 3. That were to tore for to tell of trifles the hallow, that were embroidered aboff, with brids and fly 3 e's, with gay gaudy of green, the gold eye in mids. 168 the pendants of his patriar, the proud cropier his maulings, and ale the meta ill animaled was then the steropes that he stod on, stained of the same, and his arson 3 al after, and his aethel sturts, 172 that ewer glemmered and glent al of green stones. The full that he firks on, fin of that ilk, certain, a green horse gret and thick, 176 a steed full stiff to strain, in broad and bridle quick, to the gome he wat 3 full gain. 9. Well gay wat 3 thiscombe jerd in green, 180 and the here of his hd of his horse sweet. Fair fan and fax vmbe folds his shoulders, a much bird as a busk our his breast henges. That with his high 3 lick here, that of his hd riches, 184 watt 3 uised al vmbe torn, abe off his elbows, that half his arms thir viender were halched in the wise of a kinge 3 capatos, that closes his swire. The mane of that mane whores much to hit like, 188 well cresped, and semmed with knots full money, folden in with fildor about the fair green I a hurl of the here, an other of gold, the tail and his topping twinen of a suit, 192 and bounden both with a band of a bry 3t green, dubbed with fuldera stone 3, as the dock lasted, scythen tron with a twung, a twirl not aloft, thir money bell 3 full bry 3t of brend gold rungeon. 196 such a foal vipon fold, knee freak that him rides, wat 3 newer sane and that sail with si 3t earth that time, with y3e, he loked as late so lie 3t. 200 so said al that him si 3e, hit semmed as no moan my 3t, viender his dint 3 dry 3e. 10. Wether haid he no helmy ni hobignother, 204 ni no pison, ni no plate that pented to arms, ni no shaft, ni no skelda to shuni ni to smite. Bought in his on hand he haid a holland bob, that is gratis in green, when grew 3 ar bear, 208 and an axe in his other, a hoge and vn meat, a speedo sparth to expound in spell quoso my 3t. The heed of an elm 3 the large length haid, the grain al of green steel, and of gold hewen 212 the bit burnest by 3t, with a broad egg, as well shapen to shear as sharp rassors. The steel of a stiff staff the stern hit by gripped. That wat 3 wounden with Ian to the wand 3 end, and al bigroin with green, in Gracio's works. A lace lapped about, that louked at the heed, and so after the halmy halched full oft, with tried tassel 3/3 o tacked in nog 220 on bottom 3 of the bry 3t green braden full rich. This hathel held a 3 him and the holla and tres, drewin to the he 3 edise, dut he no woth, hilst he newer one, bought he 3 he hour loked. 224 the feest word that he warp. Where is, he said, the governor of this ging. Gladly I wold see that seg in si 3t, and with himself speak rason. 228 to nigh 3t3, he kest his y3e, and reld him vp and down, he stemmed and constudi, quo walt thur most renown. Side note e, and the handle was encased in iron, curiously, graven with green, in gracious works. 11. 232 there wat 3 locking on length, thelude to behold, for vch moan had merrywell quat hit mean my 3t, that a hathel, and a horse my 3t such a hwe latch, as grow green as the gres and grenner hit semmed, 236 then green amel on gold lowend by 3 tur, al studied that thur stod, and stalked him ne'er. With al the wonder of the worlda, what he wart shulda. For feel sell I 3 had they sen, bought such newer are 240 for thigh for fantoom, and fairy 3 the folk their hit deemed. Therefore to answer what 3 are 3 money athel freak. And al stound at his stewin. And still settin in a swag silence thur 3 the sail rich 244, as al were sliped vpon sleep, so slaked hor lot 3 in high 3 I deem hit not al for doubt. Bought some for cordesai, 248 bought let him that al shulda lout, cast vnto that y3 12. Then Arthur by 4 the high 3 deseth that oenture by hold 3, and rekenly him ruerinst, for rad was he newer, 252 and said. Y3 welcome iwies to this place, the heed of this hostel Arthur I hat, lie 3 t luff licha down, and lenge, I thee pray, and quat so thy will is, we shall wit after. 256, nay, as help me, quod thee Hathel. He that on high 3 sits, to one any quillant this one, hit what 3 not min earned bought for thee lows of thee lead is lift vp so high 3 and thy bur 3 and thy burns best are holden, 260 stifest viender stelgier on steeds to ride, thee y3 test, and thee worthiest of thee world's kind, per you for to play with an other pure lake 3. And here is kid cordesai, as I have heard carp, 264 and that hat 3 wane me hider, I wheeze, at this time. E may be secker by this branch that I bear here, that I pass as in peas, and no ply 3 t setch. For had I found it in fear, in fee 3 ting wise, 268 I ha a hauberk at home, and a helmy both, a skelda and a sharp spear, skynend bry 3 t. And other weapons to welda, I ween well als, bought for I wold no were, my weed 3 are softer. 272 bought if thou be so bold as a le burn 3 tellin, thou will grant me godly thegoman that I ask, by rye 3 t. Arthur con onswear, 276 and said, Sir Cortes nigh 3 t, if thou craw battle bear, here fail 3 thou not to fi 3 t. Side note G. Arthur assures him that he shall not fail to find an opponent worthy of him. 13. Nay, phrased I know fi 3 t, in faith I thee tell, 280 hit arn about on this bench bought Birtle 3 childer. If I were hasped in arms on a he 3 steed, here is no moan me to mock, for my 3 t 3 so wake. For thigh I craw in this court a Christmas goman, 284 for hit is 3 all and nwe 3 and here are 3 ep money. If any so hardy in this whose hold 3 himselwin, be so bold in his blowed, brain and his heed. That dar stifly strike a strock for an other, 288 I shall give him of my gift thighs jisern rich, this axe, that is Huayan nog, to Hondel as him likes, and I shall bide thee feest burr, as bare as I sit. If any freak be so fell to fawn that I tell, 292 leap lie 3 tly me to, and latch this weapon, I quick claim hit for youer, keep hit as is on, and I shall stand him a strock, stiff on this flet. L3 thu will d3 t me thedom to dealy him an other, 296 barley and 3 et give him respite, a 12 minute and a day, now high 3 and let's see tight 300 dar any hurin ni o 3 t say. 14. If he hem stound vpon feast, stiller were than a let thee heard men in holla. The high 3 and the low 3 the rank on his rounce him rooshed in his saddle, 304 and runish lie his reed yn he relled about. Bend his breezed bro 3 3, blycand green, wayud his bird for to wait quoso wold rise. When non wold keep him with carp he co 3'd full high 3 308 and rhymed him full richly, and rye 3 t him to speak. What is this Arthur's whose? Quod thee Hathel then? Sat al thee ruse rents of, thur 3 ryalm is so money, where is now your sour quidri and your conquests, 312 your gridle lake, and your gream and your gret words. Now is thee rule and thee renown of thee round table our walt with a word of on y 3 spetch, for al dares for dreed, without he didn't shoot. 316 with this he law 3 so loud, that thee lord grued, thee blowed Scott for sham in to his shire face and leer, he wex as wroth as wind, 320 so did a let that thur were thee king as keen by kind, then stod that stiff moan near. Side note F, forsooth the renown of the round table is overturned, with a word of one man's speech. 15. and said, Hathel by Hewen thin asking as nigh, 324 and as thu foley hat 3 phrased, fin thee behouse, I know no gome that is gast of thy gret words. Give me now thy jessern, vipon goad 3 hallow, and I shall bathen thy bone, that thu bode and habs. 328 lie 3 tly leap 3 he him 2, and la 3 t at his hand. Then fiercely that other freak vipon fote lie 3 tis. Now hat 3 Arthur his axe, and thee halmy gripe 3, and sternly steer 3 hit about, that strike with hit though 3 t. 332 thee stiff moan him by 4 stod vipon high 3 t, hair then ani and thee whose by thee heed and more. With stern sheer thur he stod, he stroked his bird. And with a countenance dry 3 he drove 3 down his coat, 336 no more mate knee dismayed for his main dint 3. Then any burn vipon bench haid bro 3 t him to drink of wine, Gawayne, that sate by thee queen, 340 to thee king he can incline. I be sech now with saw 3 3 sane, this melly mo be mine. Side note A, he assures the knight that no one is afraid of his great words. Side note C, the knight, stroking his beard, awaits the blow, and with a dry countenance, draws down his coat. 16. Wold 3 worthilich lord. Quad Gawayne to thee king, 344, bid me bow 3 fro this bench, and stand by yow thier? That I without violin I my 3 t void this table, and that my leg lady liked not a le, I wold come to your counsel, by for your court rich. 348 for me think hit not semly. As hit as soth non, there such an asking is hewend so high 3 in your sail. Thaw 33 3 ourself be talentif to take hit to your selwyn. Will money so bold yow about vipon bench sit. 352 that viender hewen. I hope, non ha 3 of will. Ni better bodies on bent, thur barret is red. I am thee wackest, I wot, and of wit febblest. And lest lure of my liff quo lates thee soth, 356 bought for as much as 3 min m. I am only to praise no bounte bought your blowed eye in my bidet no. And scythen this note is so nice, that no 3 t hit yow falls, and I ha frained hit at yow feest, fold 3 hit to me 360 and if I carp not come lily, let a let this court rich, bout blame. Rich to jetter con round, and scythen they red in a less same, 364 to rid thee king with crown, and gif Gawayne thee game. Side note D, although the weakest, he is quite ready to meet the Green Knight. 17. Then commanded thee king thee nigh 3 t for to rise, and he full radly vp rose, and ruched him fair, 368 knelled down by 4 thee king, and cash 3 that weapon. And he lufflily hit him laughed, and lift vp his hand. And Jeff him God 3 blessing, and gladly him bids that his hurt and his hand shoulda hardy be both. 372, keep thee cozen, quad thee king, that thu on Kiev set. And if thu read 3 him ry 3 t, redly I trow, that thu shall biden thee birth that he shall beat after. Gawayne got 3 to thee gome, with Jysern and hand, 376 and he baldly him bide 3, he based newer thee helder then carp 3 to Sir Gawayne thee nigh 3 t in thee green. Refirm we are ref forwards, we fear pass. Feest I eth thee, Hathel, how that thu hats 380 that thu me tell truly as I tryst may. In God faith, quad thee good nigh 3 t, Gawayne I hat, that beed thee this buffet, quat so by fall 3 after, and at this time 12 take at thee another 384 with what weapon so thu wilt, and with no y3l3 on liu. That other on swear 3 again, Sir Gawayne, so mo I true 388 as I am furly fain, this dint that thu shall drew. Side note D, Sir Gawayne tells him his name, and declares that he is willing to give and receive a blow. 18. Bigog, quad thee green nigh 3 t, Sir Gawayne Melix, that I shall fange at thy fuss that I half phrased here 392 and thu hat 3 redilely rehearsed, by resound full trwe, clanly al thee cowanot that I thee kinge asked. Saf that thu shall psycher me, seg by thy troth, that thu shall sech me thyself, where so thu hopes 396 I may be fund vipon fold, and fock thee such wages as thu dealies me today, by forth this douth rich. Where shoulda I wail thee, quad Gawayne, where is thy place? I wot newer where thu one is by him that me row 3 t, 400 ni I know not thee, nigh 3 t, thy court, neath thy name. Bot tesh me truly thurdu, and tell me how thu hats, and I shall wear a my wit to win me theder, and that I swear thee for soth, and by my secker troth. That is in Nog and NWE 3 hit needs no more. Quad thee goman thee green to gowan thee hend. 3 if I thee tell trwly, quen I thee tape haw, and thu me smothly hat 3 smite, smartly I thee tech 408 of my whos and my home, and min owen gnome then may thu phrased my fair and forward 3 hold. And if I spend no spetch, then speed 3 thu thee better, for thu may langen thigh lond, and late no fear, 412 bot slokes. Ta now thigh grim told to thee, and let's see how thu seen oak 3. Gladly, sir, for soth, 416 quad Gawyn, his axe he strokes. Side note, it pleases me well, Sir Gawayne, says the Green Knight, that I shall receive a blow from thy fist, but thou must swear that thou wilt seek me. Side note E, when thou hast smitten me, says the knight, then tell I thee of my home and name. 19. The Green Knight 3t vipon ground graithly him dresses, a little lut with thee heed, thee lear he discour 3, his lunge lowelich lock 3, he laid our his crown. 420 let thee naked neck to thee note shoe. Goan grip to his axe, and jetiers hit on high 3t, thee k fought on thee fold he before set. Let hit down lie 3tly lie 3t on thee naked, 424 that thee sharp of thee shock shindered thee bones, and shrank thir 3 thee sugar grease, and skade hit in twin, that thee bit of thee brown stell bot on thee ground. Thee fair heed fro thee house hit to thee earth, 428 that feel hit foined with her fate, theer hit forth rolled, thee blowed braid fro thee body, that blicked on thee green and nother faltered knee fell thee freak newer thee helder. Bot stithely he start forth vipon stife skonks, 432, and reichly he raw 3t out, theer as rank 3 stoden, leth 3t to his luffly he d, and lift hit vp sown. And scythen bow 3e3 to his blanc, thee bridle he catch 3, step 3 in to stel baw and stride 3 aloft, 436 and his heed by thee here in his hand halda 3, and as sadly thee seg him in his saddle set, as non vien hap at him ailed, thaw 3 heddle 3 he we instead, 440 he braid his bluck about, that vigli bodhi that bled, mony on of him had doubt, by that his resound 3 were read. 20. 444 for thee heed in his hand, he halda 3 vp ewan, toward thee darest on thee disse he dressed 3 thee face, and hit lift vp thee y3 elid 3, and loked full broad, and meld thus much with his moth, as 3 e may now hear. 448, Loke Gawyn, thu be graith to go as thu het 3, and late as lely till thu me, lewd find, as thu hat 3 het in this holla, heron thighs nigh 3 tests to thee green chapel thu chose, I charge thee to fought. 452, such a dunt as thu hat 3 dalt desurrud thu hab 3, to be 3 etterly 3 olden on nw 3 airs morn. Thee nigh 3t of thee green chapel men knowin me money. For thigh me fordo find if thu phrased 3, fail 3 thu newer, 456 therefore com, other recront be called a thee behowius. With a runish route thee rain 3 he torn 3, hauled out at thee haldor, his he d in his hand, that thee for of thee flint flaw 3 e fro foal house. 460 to quack kith he becom, knwe non theer, newer more than they wist fram quethin. He wat 3 wonnen, what then? Thee king and gone there, 464 at that green thay la 3 e and gren, et brood wat 3 hit full bear, a merriwale among tho men. Side note B, and addresses Sir Gawayne. Look thou, be ready to go as thou haste promised. Side note H, the Green Knight then rushes out of the hall, his head in his hand. 21. Thaw 3 Arthur thee hend king at hurt haid wonder, 468 he let no semblant be sayne. Bot said full high 3 e to thee cumlich queen, with cordays spetch. Dara dame to day de may yow newer, well by com such craft vipon Christmas, 472 laking of interlude 3, to la 3 e and to sing. Among thighs, kind carols of nigh 3t3 and late I 3, newer thelis to my meat I may me well dress, for I half senecelli, I may not forsake. 476 he glent vipon Sir Gawayne, and gainly he said, now sir, hang vp thin axe, that hat 3 in nog hewen. And hit wat 3 donaboff thee disse, on dozer to henge, thorough men for merriwell my 3t on hitloke, 480 and by trwe title thorough to tell thee wonder. Then they both read to aboard thighs burns to jetter. Thee king and thee goad nigh 3t, and keen men hem serud of a lead daint I 3 double, as darest my 3t fall, 484 with a lemainer of meat and minstrelsy both. With wheel walt they that day, till worth an end, in lond. Now thank well, Sir Gawayne, 488 for woth that thu ni wund, this oenture fort o frain, that thu hat 3 tan on hond. Side note B, Dear Dame, be not dismayed, such marvels well become the Christmas festival. Side note E, the king and his knights sit feasting at the board till day is ended. Side note F, now beware, Sir Gawayne, lest thou fail to seek the adventure that thou hast taken in hand. 1. This Hansel hat 3 Arthur of Aventurous on feast, 492 in 3 onge 3 For he 3 earned 3 elping to hear, thaw 3 him word 3 were wane, when they to seat wenten, now are they stoken of stern work staff full her hund. Gawayne wat 3 glad to begin thos gomni 3 in holla, 496 bought thaw 3 the end be Huey, half 3 no wonder. For thaw 3 men ben Murray and Mind, quen they han main drink, a 3 air 3 earns full 3 earn, and 3 elda 3 newer like, the form to the finestment fold 3 full selden. 500 for thigh, this 3 all hour 3 ed, and the 3 air after, and vici ses on Sir Lep sued after other. After Christmas com the crabbed lentown, that phrased 3 flesh with the fish, and fode more simple 504 bought than the wetter of the world a with winter hit treep 3, cold clench 3 a down, cloud 3 v pelifin shire skeed 3 the rain and scour 3 full warm, fall 3 v pond fair flat, flower 3 their shoein, 508 both ground 3, and the grew 3 green are her weed 3. Brid 3 buskin to balda, and bremlich sinjin. For solace of the soft summer that sues thur after, by bonk, 512 and blossom 3 balny to blow, by raw 3 rich and ronk, then note 3 noble in no 3 are heard in wad so w lonk. 2. 516 after the sesson of summer with the soft wind 3, quen 3 ephra syphil 3 himself on seed 3 and herb 3. Well a win is the wort that walks thorough tea. When the donkin do drope 3 of the lu 3, 520 to bide a blissful blush of the bry 3 tea sun. Bought then high 3 ease harost, and hardens him sown, worn 3 him for the winter to wax full ripe. He drews withdraw 3 teeth the dust for to rise. 524 fro the face of the fold to fly 3 full high 3 roth wind of the welkin rastel 3 with the sun, the lu 3 lanson fro the lind, and lie 310 on the ground, and al graze the grez, that green watt 3 air 528 then al ripe 3, and wrote 3 that rose v pond feast. And thus 3 earn 3 the 3 air and 3 yesterday 3 money, and winter wind 3 a 3 ein, as the worlda ask 3 no sage. 532 till me 3 elmaz moan, wat 3 cumin with winter wage, then thank 3 Gawayne full sown of his annius iage. 3. 536 3, et quil al halde with Arthur he lenges, and he made a fair on that fest, for the freak 3 sake, with much rule and rich of the round table, nigh 3 t 3 full cortes and cumlich ladies, 540 al for luff of that lead and longinch they were, bought newer thelis ni the later they new and bought mirth, money isle 3 for that intel iape 3 thur madden. For after meat, with morning he meal 3 to his ameh, 544 and speak 3 of his passage, and pertly he said, now, liege lord of my liff, lu I yao ask no the cost of this case, keep I no more to tell yao teen 3 thur of newer bought trifle, 548 bought I am bound to the bur barely to mourn, to such the gome of the green, as God will me wis. Then the best of the bur 3 bow 3 to jetter, Iwin and Eric and Other full money, 552 Sir Dodonald de Sauge. The Duck of Clarence, Launcelot and Lionel, and Lucan the Goad, Sir Booze and Sir Bidour, big men both and money Other menskful, with Mador de la Porte. 556 Aleth this company of court com the king nair, for to counsel the nigh 3 t, with care at her hurt. Theer wat 3 much deru dole driuin in the sale, that so worth as wowen shulda wend on that earned, 560 to dry 3 a delful dint, and dealy no more with brond. The nigh 3 t mad I god cheer and said. Quat shuld I wund, 564 of Destin's derf and dara, what may moan do bot fond. Side note on All Hallows Day Arthur makes a feast for his nephew's sake. 4. He dowell 3 thur al that day, and dress 3 on the morn ask 3 early highs arm 3, and a were they bro 3 t 568 fiesta tuli tappet, tie 3 t hour the flet. And Mitchwat 3 the jill jeer that glent thur aloft, the stiff moan step 3 theron, and thee stel hondol 3, dubbed in a doublet of adera tars, 572 and scythen a crafty capados, closed aloft, that with a bry 3 t blonner was bounden within knee. Then set they the sabatown 3 vipon the segfote 3, his liege 3 lapped in stel with luffleich grew 3, 576 with Pauline 3 pitched thirdu, policed full clean, about his knee 3 naged with note 3 of gold, quim quissus then. That Quentlich closed his thick tron thigh 3e3 with tunjas to taxed. 580 and scythen the broad and brine of bry 3t stel ringe 3, vmbu that y3, vpon w lonk stuff. And well bornest brace vpon his both arms with goad couters and gay, and glow 3 of plate, 584 and a lethi godlich jeer that him gain shulda that tide, with rich coat armure. His gold spore 3 spend with pride, 588 gird with a bront fulshore, with silk saying vmbe his side. Side note D, he is dubbed in a doublet of tarsic silk and a well-made hood. Side note E, they set steel slices on his feet and lap his legs in steel greaves. 5. When he wot 3 hasped in arms, his harness wot 3 rich, the lest lashet our loop lemmed of gold. 592 so harnessed as he wot 3 he herkney 3 his mass, offered and honored at thee he 3 e otter. Scythen he come 3 to thee king, and to his court fear 3, lash 3 luffly his loo at lord 3 and lady 3, 596 and they him kissed and canoed, by kend him to Christ. By that wot 3 gringullet graith, and gird with a saddle, that gleamed full gaily with money gold fringes, I quer nail it full nwe for that note riched. 600 the bridal bard about, with bry 3 t gold bounden the apparel of the patriar, and of the proud sky at 3, the cropor, and the cowerter, accorded with the arson 3. And al wat 3 railed on red rich gold nail 3, 604 that al glittered and glent as glem of the sun. Then hence he thee home, and hastily hit kisses, that wat 3 stapled stifly and stoffed within knee. Hit wat 3 high 3 e on his heed, hasped by hind 608 with a lie 3 tli viris on our thee on tail, and broaden and bounden with the best gem 3, on broad silken board, and brid 3 on seam 3, as papier 3 painted perning bitween, 612 torters and truloaf 3 entailed so thick, as money bird thur about had been sewen winter in town. The circle wat 3 moro prize, 616 that, vmbe clipped high's crown, of diamant 3 aduies, that both were bry 3 t and brown. 6. Then they shewed him the skelda, that was of Shergul 3, 620 with the penangel de paint of pure gold hwe 3. He braid 3 hit by the bodrick, about the hal's kests, that by seemed the seg semlily fair. And quith the pentangel a pen 3 to that prince noble, 624 I am intent yow to tell, thof Terry hit me shulda, hit is a singny that Salomon set some quill, in bidicning of troth, by tittle that hit hab 3, for hit is a figure that halda 3 few point 3, and v line vmbe lap 3 and lug 3 in other. And I quer hit is in del 3, and in glitch hit callan our ral, as I hear, the in del's not. For thigh hit accord 3 to this nigh 3t, and to his clear arm 3, 632 for I faithful and few and seer few scythe 3, gowan wat 3 for goad non. And as gold pured, voided of vici vilany, with virtue 3 and earned in mote. 636 for thigh the pentangel and we, he burr and skelda and coat, as tulk of tail most trwe, and gentlest nigh 3t of lote. Side note then they show him his shield with the pentangle of pure gold. 7. 640 feast he wot 3 funden fodel 3 in his few wit 3, and eft failed newer thie freak in his few fingers. And his affiance vipon fold wat 3 in thie few wound 3, that Christ ca 3t on thie croix, as thie creed tell 3. 644 and querso your thighs moan in melly wat 3 stad, his troth o 3t wat 3 in that, thur 3 other thinge 3, that his forsnez he fong at thie few oi 3, that the hend hewen queen had of here childa. 648 at this cause the nigh 3t cum lich haid in the more half of his skelda here image depainted, that quen he blushed thirdo, his belda newer paired. The feest few that I find that the freck v said, 652 wat 3 franchise, and fell a 3 ship for be althing, his clans and his cordacei croaked were newer, and pite, that pass 3 11.3, thighs pure few were harder happed on that hathel than on any other. 656 Now aleth these few scythe 3 forsoth, were fettled on this nigh 3t, and v chone halched in other, that non end haid, and fitched vpon few point 3, that failed newer, ni sammed newer in no side, ni sundred nouth. 660 Without 10 end at any noke I quer find, where you were the gomen bygen, or glad to an end. Therefore on his sheen skelde shapen wat 3 the not, thus ale with red gold vpon reed gowl 3, 664 That is the pure pentangel with the pepple called, with lore. Now graithed is Gawayne gay, and la 3t his lance rye 3t Thor, 668 And Jeff hem a leg out day, he wend for you or more. 8. He spurred thee stead with thee spear 3, and sprung on his way so stiff that thee ston for stroke out thereafter. 672 Al that c3 that semly psyched and hurt, and said softly al same segas till other, Karen for that come lie, by Christ, hit his skaith, that thu lude shall be lost, that art of lift noble. 676 To find high sphere vpon fold, in faith is not eth warloker to half row 3t had more wit benny, and half die 3t3 onder dara a duck to haworthed, a lowen letter of lead 3 in lond him well seem 3, 680 And so had better half been than Britain to know 3t, had it with an alluish moan, for angard 3 pride. Who knew you were any king such counsel to take, as nigh 3t3 in Coiloun 3 on Christmas Gomni 3. 684 Well much wat 3 the warm water that waltered of y3n, when that semly sire so 3t fro tho 1 3 that day, he made non abode, 688 Bot y3 tly went high's way, money wilsome way he rode. The bach as I heard say. Side note D, it would have been better for him to have been a leader of men. 9. Now ride 3 this rank thir 3 the realmy of loggers, 692 Sir Gawayne on goad 3 hallow, thaw 3 him no goman tho 3t oft, loodle 3 alone, he lenge 3 on ny 3t 3, thir he fawn no 3t him by for the fair that he liked, haid he no fear bought his foal, by fryth 3 and down 3, 696 Ni no gom bought God, by gate with to carp, till that he ni 3 ed fall nog into the North Whale 3. Aleth the Isles of Anglesey on lift half he halda 3, and fair 3 hour the ford 3 by the forlon 3, 700 hour at the holy heed, till he haid eft bonk in the wilderness of Wyrel. One thir bot light that author God other gom with gowd hurt lowied. And I he frained, as he furred, at freak 3 that he met, 704 If they haid heard any carp of a nigh 3t green, in any ground thurabout, of the green chapel, and Al nicked him with nay, that newer in her leuth ac3 newer no seg that wat 3 of such hwe 3 708 of green. C nigh 3t talk gates strange, in money a bonk vien benny, his share full oft con change, 712 that chapel he my 3t sane. 10. Money cliff he our clamb and country 3 strange, fur floatin fro his friend 3 freemidly he ride 3, at vici worth other water thir the y3 passed. 716 He fond a foo him by 4, bought furly hit were, and that so foul and so fell, that fee 3t him by hode, so money merrywell high mount thir the moan find 3, hit were to tor for to tell of the 10th dole. 720 Somewell with worm 3 he wear 3, and with wallows owls somewell with wadwoes, that one in the nar 3, both with bull 3 and bear 3 and bore 3 otherquill, and etain 3, that him ain eled of the he 3 fell. 724 Nade he ben do 3 tie and dry 3 and dry 3 tin had serrowed, doubt else he haid ben dead, and dreeped full oft. For where wrathed him not so much, that winter was worse. When the cold clear water fro the cloud 3 shadden, 728, and fres hit fall my 3t to the fail earth, nur slain with the sleet he sleeped in his eons, mo ny 3t 3 then in nogha and naked rock 3. Thur as clatterand fro the crest the cold born ren 3, 732, and henged he 3 hour his heed in hard ussicles. Thus in peril and pain and plights full hard, by contra y carai 3 this nigh 3t, tile Christmas ewan, al 1 736 the nigh 3t well that tide, to Mary made his moan. That ho him read to ride, and wis him to someone. Side note B, many a ford and stream he crossed, and everywhere he found a foe. Side note F, had he not been both brave and good, doubtless he had been dead. Side note G, The sharp winter was far worse than any war that ever troubled him. 11. 740, by a mount on the morn merrily he rides, into a forest full dep. That furly wat 3 wilda. High 3 e hill 3 on vichia hallow, and holt woad 3 viender, of hoar oak 3 fill hoj a hundredth to jetter. 744 the hazel and the ha 3 thorn were harled al samen, with row 3 e raged moss railed eyewear. With money brid 3 vien blithe vipon bear twiges, that pitosly thur piped for pine of the cold. 748 the gome vipon gringullet glide 3 hem viender, thur 3 money miswyan mire. Mon al him 1, Karen for his costs, lest he nee cure shulda, to see thesarai of that sire. That on that self and y3 t 752 of a bird wat 3 born, a re barret to quell, and thur for sicking he said. I besech thee, Lord and Mary, that is mildest mater sodera, of some herber, thur he 3 lie I my 3 t here mass. 756 and thigh mat and 3 to mourn, meekly I ask, and third do Presley I pray my pater and awe and creed. He rode in his prayer, 760 and cried for his misdead, he sained him in scythe seer, and said, crows christ me speed. Side note D, through many a mire he goes, that he may celebrate the birth of Christ. Side note E, he beseeches the Virgin Mary to direct him to some lodging where he may hear mass. 12. Nade he saint himself, seg, bot try, 764 he wat 3 war and the wad of a 1 in a moat. Aboff a lond, on a law loken viender bo 3e3, of money borlich bowl, about by the ditches. A castle the cum locust that you are nigh 3t a 3t, 768 pitched on a prayer. A park all about with a piked palais, pined full thick, that vmbet 3e money tree moth en 2 mile. That hold on that on side the hathel oised, 772 as hit schemered and sconthur 3 the shire oak 3, then hat 3 he henley of his helmy, and he 3 lie he thonk 3 Isis and say Gillian, that gentle are both, that cordacely haid him kid, and his cry hearkened. Now bone hostile, quoth the burn, I besech yow 3 et. Then jetir 3 he to gringullet with the gilt heel 3, and he fall chauncely hat 3 chosen to the chef gate, that bro 3 t bremly the burn to the brige end, 780 in haste. The brige wat 3 bream vp braid. The 383 were stoken fast, the wall 3 were well arrayed. 784 hit dut no wind 3 blast. 13. The burn bode on bonk, that on Blanchoud, of the deped double ditch that droft to the place. The wall wad and the water wonderly deped, 788 and after full huge he 3t hit hailed vpon loft, of hard hewen ston vp to the table 3, and baned viender the abatement, in the best law and scythen garite 3 full gaugered biteween, 792 with money luffleich loop. That louked full clean, a better barbican that burn blushed vpon newer. And innermore he beheld a that holla full high 3e tower telded biteween troket full thick, 796 fair filiol 3 that phi 3 ed, and furlily long with coruan coprowns, craftily slee 3e chalk wit chimneys thir ches he and no 3e, vpon bastel row 3, that blanked full quit, 800 so money pineapple paintet wat 3 powdered iquer, among the castle carnal 3, clambread so thick, that paired out of papier purely hit semmed. The free freak on the full hit fair in engi tho 3t, 804 if he my 3t cure to calm the cloister within nay, to herber in that hostel, will halliday lested oinant. He called a, and sown thur com 808 a porter pure plessant, on the while his earned he gnome, and hailst the nigh 3t errant. Side note F, he thinks it fair enough if he might only come within the cloister. Side note G, he calls, and soon there comes a porter to know the knight's errand. 14. Good sir, quod Gawayne, wold 3 thu go min earned, 812 to thee he 3 lord of this whose herber to craw. 3e Peter, quod the porter, and purely I trow, that 3e be, why 3e, welcome to 1 quill yow like 3. Then 3 ada that y 3e a 3 ein oith, 816 and folk frelly him with, to fonge thee nigh 3t, they let down the gret draw 3t, and darily out 3 Eden and knelled down on her nes vpon the cold earth, to welcome this ilk y3, as worthy home tho 3t 820 they 3 olden hymns the broad 38, 3 arced vp wide, and he hem raised rekenly, and rod our the brig. Seer seg 3 him seized by sadel, quell he lie 3t, and Scythen stabled his steed stiff men in no 3e. 824 nigh 3t3, and swire 3 commend down then, for to bring this burn with blies into Hala, quen he hef vp his helmy, thur high 3'd in nog for to hent hit at his hond, the hen to Sarun, 828 his brond and his blass on both they token. Then hails he full henly tho hathel 3 vch1, and money proud moan thur priest, that prince to honor ale hasped in his he 3 weed to Hala they him onein. 832 thur fair fire vpon flet fursley brend. Then the lord of the lead lout 3 fro his chamber, for to meet with mensk the moan on the floor he said. 3 er welcome to welda as yow like 3 836 that here is. Al is yower on, to ha at yower will and welda. Grant mercy, quad Gawayne, thur Christ hit yow for 3 elda. 840 as freak 3 that semd fain, either other in arm 3 con felda. Side note, a good sir, says Gawayne, ask the high lord of this house to grant me a lodging. Side note B, you are welcome to dwell here as long as you like, replied the porter. 15. Gawayne gly 3t on the gome that godly him gret, and through 3t hit a bold burn that the bur 3a 3t, 844 a hoj hathel for the nun 3, and of hig elda, brode bry 3t wat 3 his bird, and al buer h-wed, stern stiff on the strith on Stalworth skonk 3, fell face as the fire, and free of high spetch, 848 and well him semd for soth, as the seg through 3t, to lead a lordship in lee of lewd 3 fall goad. The lord him charred to chamber, and chef like humond 3 to delure him a lewd, him low 3 lie to sarrow. And there were bound at his bode burn 3 and no 3e, that bro 3t him to a bry 3t burr, thur bedding wat 3 noble of courtons of clean silk, with cleur gold hem 3, and cowarder 3 fall curious, with cumlich pane 3 856 of bry 3t blonnier a bow and broaded by side 3, rudel 3 renend on rope 3, red gold ringe 3, tapit 3 tie 3t to the woe 3e, of Tully and tars and viender fate on the flet, a fall 3 and suit. 863 he wat 3 despoiled, with spetch 3 of Myrth, the burn of his brunny, and of his bry 3t weed 3. Rich robes full rad rank 3 hem bro 310 for to charge, and to change, and chose of the best. 864 sown as he on hent, and happed thurinny that seat on him semly, with sail and sky at 3. The ver by his usage verily hit seemed well knee 3 to vici hathel ale on hwes, 868 lowend and luffly, ale his limb 3 viender, thatacum loker nigh 3t newer Christ made, hem tho 3t, wethen in worlda he were 872 hit semd, as he my 3t be prince without 10 peer. In felda thur fell men fi 3t. Side note E, the lord leads Gawayne to a chamber, and assigns him a page to wait upon him. 16. A chair before the Kemne, thur charcoal brend, 876 watt 3 graithed for Sir Gawayne, graithly with cloth 3, wissings vpon quelda points, tha coint were both, and then a mere mantle watt 3 on that moan cast, of a brown bleant and broaded full rich, 880 and fairford within knee with fell 3 of the best, elev ermine in erd, his hode of the same and he seat in that settle semlich rich, and a choft him chefly, and then his share mendied. 884 sown watt 3 telded vp a tappet, on trust 3 full fair, clad with a clean cloth, that cleur quit shoed, sanap and salar and siluarin spawn 3, the y3 ewesh at his will, and went to his meat seg 3 him sarud semly in no 3e, with sear sows and seat, sesson of the best, double felda as hit fall 3, and feel kin fish 3. Some bacon in bread, some brad on the gleed 3, 892 some sothen, some in sue, soured with spices, and I saw so slee 3e3, that the seg liked. The freak called a hit a fest full frelly and oft full henley, quenaleth the hathels rehated him at 13896's hend. This penance now 3e take, and eft hit shall amend. That moan much mirth con make, 900 for win in his he deeth that wend. Side note B, a mantle of fine linen, richly embroidered, is thrown over him. 17. Then Wat 3 spied and spurred vpon spare wise. By .3 of that prince, put to him Selwyn, that he be knew cordacely of the court that he were, 904 that Athel Arthur the hend halda 3 him one, that is the rich Ryle king of the round table, and hit Wat 3 won himself that in that one sit 3, commend to that Christmas, as case him then limped. 908 when the Lord Hade learned that he the lewd Hade, loudlaw 3t therat, so lef hit him though 3t. And a leth men in that mote madden much joy to aper in his presence presly that time. 912 that ale prize, and prows, and pure thews a pens to his person, and praised is ewer. By 4 ale men vipon mold, his mensk is the most. VCH seg full softly said to his fear, 916. Now shall we semlich ceasely 3t3 of thew 3, and the tekels terms of talking noble. Which speed is in spetch. VN spurred may we learn? Sin we have fonged that fine fader of nurture. 920 God hat 3 Jewen vus his grace godly forsoth, that such a jest as Gawayne grant 3 vus to ha, when burn 3 blithe of his birth shall sit and singe. 924 in menning of manner 3 mere, this burn now shall vus bring, I hope that may him hear, shall learn of luff talking. 18. 928 by that the diner wat 3 done, and the dara vp. Hit wat 3 ni 3 at the ni 3 t ni 3 ed the time. Chaplain 3 to the chapels chosen the gate, rungeon full richly, rye 3 t as they shulden, 932 to the hersum ewan song of the high 3 e tide. The Lord louts thirdo, and the Lady owls, into a comely closet quaintly ho and tre 3, Gawayne glide 3 full gay, and goes thetter sown 936 the Lord latches him by the lap, and lead 3 him to sit. And cowthly him no 3, and cal 3 him his gnome. And said he wot 3 the welcomest y 3 e of the worlda, and he him thonked trolley, and either halcht other. 940 and set and soberly samen the seros quill, then list the lady to loke on the nigh 3t. Then com ho of here closet, with money clear bird 3, ho wat 3 the fairest in fell, of flesh and of lyre, 944 and of compaz, and color, and costs of a le other, and wenor then wenor, as the y3 etho 3t. He ches thur 3 the chancel, to churich that hend. An other lady here lad by the lift hond, 948 that wat 3 alder then ho, an onchian hit semmed, and he 3 lie honored with hathel 3 about. Bought in like on to loke tho ladies were, for if the 3 onge wat 3 ep, 3 all 3 e wat 3 that other. 952 rich red on that on railed I quer. Rug ronkled cheek 3 that other on rolled. Kerchiefs of that on with money clear pearl 3 her breast, and here bry 3 t trote bear displayed. 956 scon shira then sna, that sketter on hill 3. That other with a gorger wat 3 jerd hour the swire. Chimbled hour here blake chin with milk quit veils, her front folden in silk, and foulbled I quer, 960 torret, and trayed with trifle 3 about. That no 3t wat 3 bear of that bird bought the blake bro 3 e's. The twain y3n, and the nace, the naked lip 3 anthos were sour to see, and cellily blurred. 964 a mensk lady on mold moan may here cal for goad, her body wat 3 scort and thick. Her buttock 3 bay and broad, 968 more liquor-wise on to lick, wat 3 that sco hate on load. Side note C, the lord of the castle and Sir Gawayne sit together during service. Side note F, an older lady, an ancient one she seemed, led her by the hand. 19. When Gawayne gly 3t on that gay, that graciously loked. With lula 3t of the lord he went hem a 3 ines, 972 the alder he hailses, heldend full low. The lowaloker he lap 3 a little in arm 3. He kisses here come lily, and nigh 3 tly he meal 3. They callan him of acquaintance, and he hit quick ask 3976 to be her seriwant softly, if himself liked. They tan him biteween hem, with talking him leaden to chamber, to kem nay, and chefly they ask and spice 3, that vn sparely men sped at home to bring, 980 and the winlich wine therewith vici time. The lord lufflich aloft leap 3 full oft, mind murs to be made vipon money scythe 3. Henty 3 lie of his hode, and on a spear henged 984 and waned home to win the workip thereof. That most meeth my 3t mean that Christenma's while. And I shall fond, by my faith, to filter with thee best. Me want thee weed 3, with help of my friend 3. 988 thus with la 3 and lot 3 thee lord hit tate make 3, for to glade Sir Gawayne with gomni 3 and hal that ny3t. Till that hit wat 3 time, 992 the king commandit lie 3t, Sir Gawayne his Lucan nime, and to his bed him d3t. 20. On the morn, as vch moan mine 3 that time, 996 at dry 3 tin, for horred distine to de 3 e watt 3 born. Wheel wax 3 in vici a 1 in worlda, for his sake. So did hit theer on that day, thur 3 daints money, both at mees and at meal, messes full keent durf men vipon de said dressed of the best. The oldie onchian whiff he 3 est ho sit 3, the lord luffly her by lent, as I trow, Gawayne and the gay bird to jetter they setten, 1004 ewan in mid 3, as the mess meetly come, and scythen thur 3 al the sail, as hem best semmed, by vici grom at his degreg graithly watt 3 serud. Thur watt 3 meat, thur watt 3 meeth, thur watt 3 much goy, 1008 that for to tell thereof hit me teen were, and to point hit 3 at I pine me periunture, bought 3 at I wot that wan and the whale bird such comfort of her campaign I ca 310 to jetter. 1012 thur 3 her dara dalliance of her dern word 3, with clean cordes carp, closed fro filth and whoreplay watt 3 passend vici prince Goman, in veyers. 1016 trump 3 and nakeries, much piping thur repairs, vici moan tented highs, and they 2 tented theirs. Side note F, it were too tedious to tell of the meat, the mirth, and the joy that abounded everywhere. Side note G, Gawayne and his beautiful companion derive much comfort from each other's conversation. 21. 1020 much dut wat 3 third druin that day and that other, and the trid as tro tronge and thereafter, the goy of sane ioni 3 day wat 3 gentle to hear, and wat 3 the last of the lake, lude 3 thir tho 310. 1024 thir were jests to go vipon the grey morn, for thy wonderly thay woke, and the wind dronken, donst full dree 3 lie with dara carol 3 at the last, when hit wat 3 late, thay lashen her loo 1028 vichon to wend on his way, that wat 3 y 3 e strange. Gawayne jeff him god day, the god moan him latch 3 leads him to his own chamber, thorn chimney byside, and there he draw 3 e 3 him on dry 3 e, and darely him thonk 3 1032 of the win worskip and he him waned haid, as to honor his who's on that high 3 e tide, and embellize his burr 3 with his billet cheer. I was sir, quill ilu, me worth 3 the better, 1036 that Gawayne hat 3 ben my jest, at God 3 on fest. Grant merci sir, quod Gawayne, in God faith hit is yower 3, al the honor is your on, see he 3 e king yow 3 elda and I am y 3 e at your will, to wart your hest, 1040 as I am halden thirdu, in high 3 e and in low 3 e by rye 3 t. See Lord fast can him pain to hold lenger the nigh 3 t, 1044 to him answer 3 Gawayne, by non-way that he my 3 t. Side note C, on the morrow many of the guests took their departure from the castle. Side note D, Sir Gawayne is thanked by his host for the honor and pleasure of his visit. 22. Then frained the freak full fair at him Selwyn, quat dern deed had him drewin, at that dara time. 1048 so Kenley fro the kinge 3 cuit to care al his one, earthy halliday 3 holly were hallet out of town. For soth sir, quad the seg, 3 e sane bought the troth a he 3 e earned, and a hasty me haid fro tho 1 3, 1052 for I am summed myself to setch to a place. I wot in world a wetter ward to wend, hit to find. I nold, bought if I hit neg my 3 t on an W3 ers morn, for a let thee lond in with loggers, so me aure lord help. 1056 for thigh, sir, this inquest I require yow here, that 3 e me tell with troth. If you were 3 e tale heard of the green chapel, quer hit on ground stond 3, and of the nigh 3 teeth that hit keeps, of color of green. 1060 thir watt 3 stabled by statute a stewin vus between, to meet that moan at that mere. 3 if I my 3 t last, and if that ilk in W3 hot neeked now want 3. And I wold loke on that lead, if God me let wold. 1064 gladloker, by God 3 son, then any God welda. For thigh, I wis by 3 o'er will when me buy house. Naf I now to busy bought bear tree day 3, and me als fain to fall fay as faily of mine earned. 1068 then le 3 and quad thee lord. Now ling thee by house, for I shall tesh yow to thaw term by thee time 3 end. The green chapel vipon ground, grew yow no more bought 3 e shall be in yower bed burn at thin essay, 1072 quill 4th day edge, and firk on p feast of p3 air, and come to that merk at midmorn, to make quat yow like 3 in spen. Doel 3 while new 3 airs day, 1076 and rise, and rake 3 then, mon shall yao set in way, hit is not 2 mile hen. Side note he desires to know what had driven Sir Gawayne from Arthur's court before the end of the Christmas holidays. Side note B, the knight replies that a high errand and a hasty one had forced him to leave the court. Side note C, he asks his host whether he has ever heard of the Green Chapel. 23. Then wat 3 Gawayne full glad, and gomanly he la 3 ed, 1080, now I thonk yao truanly thir 3 ele other thinge, now acute is my chance. I shall at your will doel, and L3 do quat 3 e de men. Then seized him the sire, and set him by side, 1084 let the lady 3 be fet, to like hem the better, thir wat 3 seem solace by himself still, the lord let for luff lote 3 so miry, as y 3 that wold of his white, ni wist quat he my 3 t. 1088 then he carped to the nigh 3 t, cryand loud. 3 e hand deemed to do the deed that I bid, will 3 e halda this he's here at thighs 1 3. 3 e sir forsoth, said the seg trwe, 1092, will I bide and yower bore 3 e, be bane to 3 o hest. For 3 e half trialed, quad the tulk, to and fro fair, and scythen waked me with, 3 e are not well wearest, nother of sosnon's knee of sleep. Softly I know 1096 e shall lenge in your loft, and lie 3 e in your essay to mourn quilthy mesquil, and to meet wend when 3 e will, with my whiff that with yow shall sit, and comfort yow with company, till I to court torn, 1100 e lend, and I shall early rise, on hunting will I wend. Gawayne grant 3 elethis, 1100 for him held and, as the hend. Side note D, the lord of the castle asks the knight to grant him one request. 24. 3 at furra, quad the freak, a forward we make quat so you or I win in the wad, hit worth 3 to your 3, and quat check so 3 e aq, change me thurforn 1108 sweet, swap we so, swear with troth quether lude so limp lear other better. By God, quad Gawayne the goad, I grant thir till, and that yow list Fordo Lake, left hit me thinks. Who bringe 3 vus this bewerage, this bargain is maked. So said the lord of that lead. They la 3 v chone, they dronken, and Daliedin and Dalton vnty 3 tell, thighs lord 3 and lady 3, quil that hem liked 1116 and scythen with Frankish fair and feel fair lote 3 they stoden, and stemmed and styly specken, kissed and full comlily, and caw 310 herlu. With money lewd full lie 3 t, and lemon torches, 1120 vici burned to his bed wat 3 bro 3 t at the last, full soft. To bed 3 et they 3 ada, recorded Camelot 3 oft, 1124 the oldie lord of that lude, Couthwell halda lake aloft. Side note A, whatsoever, says the host, I win in the wood shall be yours. Side note D, night approaches and each to his bed was brought at the last. 1. Full early by 4 the day the folk vp risen, jests that go wold, horgrom 3 they called in, 1128 and they buskin vp billu, Blanc 3 to saddle, Tiffany tackles, trussin her males, richin hem the richest, to ride a le arade, lepin vp lie 3 tly, lashin her bridles, 1132 vici y 3 e on his way, thur him well liked. The lu lord of the lond wat 3 not the last, arade for the riding, with rank 3 full money, eatasop hastily, when he had heard mass. 1136 with bugle to Bentfelde, he busk 3 bileu, by that any day lie 3 t lemmed vpon earth, he with his hathels on high 3 e horses wherein. Then thighs cashers that couth, coupled whorehound 3, 1140 v enclosed the kennel door, and called a hem thorough t. Blwe bigely in bugle 3 tree bear moat, breaks bathed therefore and bream noise maked, and they chastised and charred on chassing that went 1144 a hundredth of hunters, as I have heard tell, of the best. To Tristers Viewters 3 odd, couples hunts of Kest, 1148 there rose for blast 3 goad, gret rurd in that forest. 2. At the feast queth of the quest quaked the wilda dare droffen the dale, doted for dreed, 1152 high 3 ed to the high 3 e, bought headerly they were restayed with the stably, that stoutly ascried. They let thee hurt 3 half the gate, with the high 3 e heeds, the bream buck 3 also, with whore broad palm 3, 1156 for thee free Lord Haid defend in firmasound time, that thur sholda no moan mean to thee mail dara. Thee hind three were halden in, with hay and war. Thee does drewin with gret dine to thee depes laid 1160 thur my 3 t moan see, as they sliped, slenting of arwis, at vici wend viender wand wapped a flown, that bigly boat on thee brown, with full broad heed 3, what? Thay brayan and bledden, by bonk 3 thay to 3n. 1164 and I ratches in arrays radly hem fall 3 e's, hunter 3 with high 3 e horn hasted hem after, with such a crack and cry, as cliffs hadden bruston. What wilda so at wapped y 3 e's that scotten. 1168 watt 3 al to raced and rent, at thee resate. By they were tend at thee high 3 e, and taste to thee water 3, thee lead 3 were so learned at thee low 3 e tristers. And thee grehound 3 so gret, that get hem bile you, 1172, and hem to filched, as fast as freak 3 my 3 t loke, thur rye 3 t. Thee lord for blies abloy full oft con launce and lie 3 t, 1176, and droff that day with I, thus to thee dirk ny 3 t. Side note F, the hounds and the hunters with a loud cry, follow in pursuit. 3. Thus like 3 this lord by lind woad 3 u 3, and g thee god moan, in gay bed lige 3. 1180 lurk 3 quill thee daylie 3 t lemmed on thee wows, the ender cowertor fall clear. Courtened about and, as in slomring he slowed, slee 3 lie he heard a little dine at his door, and der fly vpon. 1184 and he hew 3 vp his he d out of thee cloths, a corner of thee courtin he caw 3 t vp a little, and wait 3 warly thiterward, quat hit be my 3 t. Hit wat 3 thee laddie, lawfulliest to behold, 1188 that drow 3 thee door after here full dernly and style, and bow 3'd toward thee bed, and thee burn shamed, and laid him down listily, and let as he slept, and ho stepped stilly. And stell to his bed, 1192 kest vp thee courtin, and craped within knee, and set here full softly on thee bedside, and lunged theer selly lunge, to loke quen he wakened. Thee lead lay lurked a full lunge quill, 1196 compassed in his conscience to quat that case my 3 t mean other amount, to marywell him tho 3 t, bought 3 at he said in himself. More semly hit were to espy with my spell space quat ho wold. 1200 then he wakened, and wroth, and to hear ward torned, and vien louked his y3 e lid 3, and let as him wondered, and sained him, as by his saw 3 e thee sour to worth with hand, 1204 with chin and cheek full sweet, both quit and red and bland, full luff like on ho leet, with lip 3 smell la 3 and. 4. 1208 God morrown Sir Gawayne, said that fair lady, 3 e are a slepper vien sly 3 e, that moan may slide hider now are 3 e tannistit, bot true vus may shape, I shall bind yow in your bed, that be 3 e traced. 1212, al la 3 and thee lady lanced tho bird 3. Gowd morrown g, quod Gawayne thee blithe, me shall worth at your will and that me well like 3, for I 3 eldemy 3 etterly, and 3 e after grace, 1216, and that is thee best, be my dome, for me by how 3 need. And thus he birded a 3 ein with money a blithe law 3 tur. Bot wold 3 e, Lady Lowly, then lumi grant, and deprease your price on, and pray him to rise, 1220 I wold bow 3 e of this bed, and busk me better. I shall decure thee more comfort to carp yow with. Nay, for soth, bow sir, said that sweet. 3 e shall not rise of your bed, I rich yow better, 1224 I shall hap yow here that other half owls. And scythen carp with my nigh 3 t that I ca 3 t ha, for I ween well, iwis, sir wan 3 e are that aleth thee world a workipe 3, corso 3 e ride, 1228 your honor, your hendelake is henly praised with lord 3, with ladies, with aleth that lift bara. And now 3 e are here, iwis, and we bought our re 1. My lord and his lead 3 are on length farin, 1232 other burn 3 in her bed, and my bird 3 owls, thee door drawn, and dit with a durf hasp. And scythen I ha in this whose him that owl like 3, I shall wear my while well, quill hit last 3 1236 with tail, er welcome to my cores, yower on one to whale, me be how 3 of fine force, 1240 your seriwant be in shale. Side note A. Good morrow, says the lady, ye are a careless sleeper to let one enter thus. Side note C. Good morrow, says the knight, I am well pleased to be at your service. Side note L. Since I have him in house that everyone likes, I shall use my time well while it lasts. 5. In God faith, quod Gawayne, gain hit me think 3, thaw 3 I be not now he that 3 e of specken, to rechet to such ruerance as 3 e rehearse here 1244 I am y 3 e vn worthy. I wot well my Selwyn. By God, I were glad, and yow God though 3t. Et saw 3 e other et serais that I set my 3t to the pleasance of your prize, hit were a pure voy. 1248 In God faith, Sir Gawayne, quod the gay lady. The prize and the prows that please 3 al other. If I hit lacked, other set it lie 3t, hit were little dainty, bot hit our ladies in no 3e, that lure were noth 1252 half the hend and whore hold, as I the hab here, to dolly wit darily your dainty word 3, cure hem comfort, and colon her care 3, then much of the garasauren other gold that they haun. 1256 Bot I allow you that ilk lord that the lift halda 3, I half hit holly in my hand that al desires, thir 3 e grace. Sco made him so gret cheer, 1260 that wat 3 so fair of face, the nigh 3t with spetches skier, asweared to vici a case. Side note A. I am unworthy, says Sir Gawayne, to reach to such reverence as ye rehearse. Side note C. There are ladies, says his visitor, who would prefer thy company. 6. Madame, quod the myry moan, marry yow 3 elda 1264 for I half founden, in God faith, yower franchise noble, and other full much of other folk fongen hor deed 3, bot the dainty that they delen for my dessert nicen, hit is the worship of yourself, that no 3t hot well con 3. 1268 By Mary, quod the menskful, methink hit another. For were I worth al the one of women alu, and al the wheel of the worlda were in my hand, and I shulda chepen and chose, to chew me a lord, 1272 for the costs that I half knowen vipun the nigh 3t here, of beauté and debonerte and blithe semblant, and that I half hearkened, and halda hit here tr we, thur shulda no freak vipon fold by 4 yow be chosen. 1276 I wis worthy, quod the y3e, 3e half wailed well better, bot I am proud of the prize that 3e put on me, and soberly your seriwant my sour rain I hold yow and yower nigh 3t I become and christ yow for 3 elda. 1280 Thus they meld of much quat, till mid-morn paste, and I the lady let lick, a him loud mitch, the freak furred with defense and fetid full fair. Tha 3 I were bird by 3 test, the bird in mind haid, 1284 the last luff in his load, for lure that he so 3t, bout hone, the dunt that shulda him due, and need 3 hit most be done 1288 the lady then speck of Lou. He granted here full sown. Side note A. Gawayne tells her that he prefers her conversation before that of all others. Side note E. Gawayne tells her that he will become her own knight and faithful servant. Side note F. The remembrance of his adventure prevents him from thinking of love. 7. Then ho Jeff him God day and with a glent loth read, and as ho stod, ho stonied him with full store word 3, 1292, now he that speed 3 vici spetch, this disport 3 elda yow, bot that 3 e be Gawayne, hit got 3 in mind. Cur 4. Quad the freak, and freshly he asked 3, furred lest he had failed in form of his casts, 1296 bot the bird him blessed, and by this skyle said, so God as Gawayne gainly is halden, and Cordesai is closed so clean in him Selwyn, couth not lie 3 tly half lenged so long with a lady, 1300 bot he had crowed a coss, by his Cordesai, by some toch of some trifle, at some tale 3 end. Then quad woen, I wis, worth as yow like 3, I shall kiss at your commandment, as a nigh 3t fall 3 1304 and fire lest he displease yow, so plead hit no more. Ho comes ne'er with that and cash 3 him in arm 3, lout 3 luff licha down and the lewd kiss 3, they come lie by kennan to christ either other, 1308 ho doos here forth at the door, without 10 dine more. And he riches him to rise and rapes him sown, cleeps to his chamberlain, Chose his weed, bow 3 4th. Quen he wat 3 boun, blithely to mass 1312, and then he mewed to his meat, that menskly him keeped, and made miry all day till the moan rised, with game with newer freak fair afonge, 1316 between two, so digny dame, the alder and the 3 onge, much solace set they same. 8. And I the lord of the land is lent on his gamney 3, 1320 to hunt in holt 3 and heath, at hind 3 bearing, such a soam he thir slow by that the sun held it, of dews and of otherdera, to deem were wonder. Then Fursley they flocked in folk at the last, 1324, and quickly of the quelled dera a quarray they maked. The best bow 3 thirdo, with burn 3 in nog, jettered the graddest of gres that thur were, and didn't hem darely viendio, as the deed ask 3 1328 searched hem at the assay, some that thur were, 2 fingers they fond of the foulest of a le, scythen they slight the slot, seized the herber shod with a sharp niff, and the shire knit. 1332 scythen writ they 4 limbs, and ren of the hide, then breck they the bale 3 out token, listily forlancing and bara of the knot. They griped to the gargulon, and graithly departed 1336 the wessant fro the wint hole, and walt out the gut 3, then sure they out the shoulder 3 with her sharp new 3, hailed hem by a little hole, to haw whole sides. Scythen Britoned they the breast, and Braden hit in twin, 1340 and eft at the gargulon bigen 3 on then, Ryu 3 hit VP Radley, Rye 3T to the by 3T, Void 3 out the avanters, and verily thereafter a lethe rhyme 3 by the rib 3 Radley they lance. 1340, 4 so ride they of by resound by the rig bone 3, Ewan into the haunch, that henged a less samen, and Hewen hit VP al hole, and H1 hit of theer, and that thanim for the noumbles, by nome as I trow, 1348 by kind, by 3T al of the thigh 3 e's, the lap 3 thay lance by hind, to Hugh hit in 2 thay high 3 e's, 1352 by the backbond to Vien bind. Side note meanwhile the lord of the land and his men hunt in woods and heaths. Side note I, they then separate the wezen from the windhole and throw out the guts. Side note J, the shoulders are cut out and the breast divided into halves. 9. Both the heed and the howls they H1 of then, and scythen sunder they side 3, swifed fro the chine, and the corbles fee they kest in a grew 1356 then thurled they either, thick side thur 3, by the rib, and henged then aether by ho 3 e's of the forch 3, v chi freak for his fee, as fall 3 forto ha. V pon a fell of the fair best, feed they thayer hounds, 1360 with the lure and the lie 3T3, the lether of the paunch 3, and bread bathed and blowed, blend thur amonge 3, baldily they BLW prize, bade thayer ratch 3, scythen fonge they her flesh fold into home, 1364, strackend falls stoutly money stiff moat 3. By that the daily 3T wat 3 done, the douth wat 3 al onein into the cumli castle, thur the nigh 3T bide 3 full still, 1368 with blies and bry 3T for bet, the lord is commend thir till, when Gawayne with him met, thur wat 3 bought wheel at will. Side note A, after this the head and neck are cut off, and the sides severed from the chine. 10. 1372, then commanded the lord in that sail to same and Alethi many, both the ladies on log to lie 3T with her birds, by 4 Alethi folk on the flet, freak 3, he bed 3 verily his venesound to fetch him by forn, 1376, and al godly and goman gaway he called, tech 3 him to the tales of full tate bests, shoe 3 him the shire grease scorn vipon ribs. How pay 3 youth this play? Half I prize onein. 1380 ha I truanly thonk thur 3 my craft serud, 3 I wis, quad that other y 3 here is waith fairest that I see 3 this sewen 3 air incessant of winter. And al I gif yow Gawayne, quad the gom then, 1384, for by a cord of Camelot 3 craw hit as you're on. This is soth, quad the seg, I say yow thadulk, and I half worthily this 1 3 within knee, I wis with as God will hit worth 3 to 3 or 3. 1388 he hasp 3 his fair howls his arm 3 within knee, and kisses him as comelyly as he cowthaws. Tas yao theer my chewicons, I chewed no more, I wouch hit saf finley, thaw 3 feller hit were. 1392, hit is God, quad thee God moan, grant mercy therefore, hit may be such, hit is thee better, and 3 me brew wold where 3 wan this ilk wheel by wit of horse Selwyn. That wat 3 not forward, quad he, phrased me no more, 1396 for 3 haften that yow tide 3, troth 3 non other mo. They la threed and made hem blithe, with lot 3 that were to low, 1400 to soper they 3 ada a swithe, with daints and we and no. Side note D, and asks him whether he does not deserve much praise for his success in the chase. Side note E, on the knight expressing himself satisfied, he is told to take the whole according to a former agreement between them. Side note H, as this does not enter into the covenant, he gets no answer to his question. Side note I, they then proceed to supper, where were dainties new and enough. 11. And Scythen by Thechimne, in chamber they set. Y3 the wall win we threed to hem oft, 1404 and eft in her birding they bathen in the morn, to fill the same forward 3 that they by 4 madden. That chance so bide 3 hor chusance to change. What in we3 so they gnome. At na 3 quen they met, 1408 they, accorded of the cowanant 3 by for the court ale. See burage wat 3 bro 3 fourth in bird at that time. Then they lowlich, la 310 lu at the last, vici burn to his bed busked bilu. 1412, by that the coke haid crow 3 and cackled bot tries, the lord wat 3 lopen of his bed. The lude 3 vch1, so that the meat and the mass wat 3 meatly delured. The douth dressed to the wad, any day sprenged, 1416 to chase. He 3 with hunt and horn 3, thur 3 plain 3 they pass in space, vn coupled among tho thorn 3, 1420 rake 3 that ran on race. 12. Sown they cal of a quest in acre side, the hunt rehated the hound 3, that hit feest minged, willed a word 3 him warp with a ras noise. 1424 the hound 3 that hit herd, hasted thider swithe, and fellin as fast to the fight, 40 at ones, then such a gloweran glam of jettered ratch 3 rows. That the rocher 3 rungeon about 1428 hunter 3, hem hardened with horn and with muth. Then al in assemblée swayed to jetter, between a flosh and that frith, and a foo crag, in a knot, by a cliff, at the care side. 1432 thur as the rog rocher vien ridley wat 3 fallen, furden to the finding, and freak 3 hem after they vien be kessen the nar and the not both. Y3 will they wisten well wit in knee hem hit were 1436 the best that thur brood wat 3 with the blowed hound 3. Then they bid 10 on the busk 3, and bead him vp rise, and he vien soundly out so 3 t seg 3 outward, on the celocus swin swenged out theer. 1440 long sithen for the sounder that y3 t furoldy, for he wat 3 b bore ulthur gratistry quen he groaned. Then grewed money, for t the fias trast he try 3 t to the earth, 1444 and forth good sped, bout spite more. Haloed Higgs full high 3 and hey. Hey! Cried Haddonhorn 3 to mouth headerly rechated, money wat 3 the miry mouth of men and of hound 3, 1448 that busk 3 after this bore, with bost and with noise, to quell full oft he bide 3 the bay, and maim 3 the mute in mel. 1452 he hurt 3 of the hound 3, and they full 3 omerly 3 all and 3 l. Side note I, however he attacks the hounds, causing them to yowl and yell. 13. Shock 3 to scote at him scoen to then, hailed to him of her arrow 3, hitten him oft, 1456 bought the point 3 paired at the pyth that pi 3t in his skelda 3. And the barb 3 of his brow bite non-wold, thaw 3 the shawn shaft shindered in piece 3, the heed hipped a 3 ein, were so you were hit. 1460 bought quan the dint 3 him dared of her dry 3 stroke 3. Then, brain wad for bait, on burn 3 he raised 3, hurt 3 hem full headerly thur he forth high 3 3, and money r3 ed thereat, and on light dro 3n. 1464 bought the lord on a lie 3t horse launces him after, as burn bold vipon bent his bugle he blow 3, he rechated, and Arthur 3 roan 3 fall thick. Suent this why swin till the sun shafted. 1468 This day with this ilk deed they drewen on this wise, while Are Luffleich lead lies in his bed, Gawayne graithly at home. In jeer 3 full rich of hue, 1472 the lady no 3 for 3 8. Com to him to salu, full early ho wat 3 him 8, his mode forto rimway. 14. 1476 ho comes to the courtin, and at the nigh 3 totes, Sir Juan her welcomed worthy on feast, and ho him 3 elda 3 a 3 ein, full 3 urn of here word 3, set 3 here softly by his side, and swithely ho la 3 e3, 1480 and with a luffleich loke ho laid him thighs word 3. Sir, 3 if 3 e be one, wonder me think 3, why 3 e that is so well rast all way to God, and con 3 not of campaign I thee cost 3 viender take, 1484, and if moan kens yow home to know, 3 e kest home of your mind. Thu hat 3 for 3 etten 3 etterly that 3 isterday I ta 3 tte alder truest token of talk that I couth. What is that? Quad thewig, I wis I wat newer 1488 if hit be saw that 3 e brew, the blame is min on. 3 et I kend yow of kissing, quad the clear then, querso countenances couth, quickly to claim that by cumes vici and I 3 that cor daci v says. 1492 do way, quad that durf moan, my dara that spetch, for that durst I not do, lest I denade were, if I were werned, I were rang I wis, 3 if I proffered. Ma fe, quad the mere whiff, 3 e may not be werned. 1496 3 e are stiff in nogs to constrain with strength, 3 if yow like 3, if any were so villainous that yow dene wold. 3 e be God, quad Gawayne, good is your spetch. Bot treat is vien truend in theed thur island, 1500 and vici gift that is Jewen not with gowd will, I am at your commandment, to kiss quen yow like 3, e may latch quen yow list, and lu quen yow think 3 in space. 1500 for the lady lout 3 a down, and Camelot kisses his face, much spetch they thur expound, of drurise gream and grace. Side note C, and tells the knight that he has forgotten what she taught him the day before. Side note D, I taught you of kissing, she says, that becomes every night. Side note G, the knight replies that every gift is worthless that is not given willingly. 15. 1508 I wold wit at yow, y 3e, that worthy thur said, and yow wrath not therewith what were the skyle. That so 3 ong and so 3 ep, as 3e at this time, so cordace, so nigh 3 tiley, as 3e are knowen outi, 1512 and of a lechuary to chose, the chef thing allused, is the lel lake of luff, the letrier of arms. F to tell of this tenneling of this trwe nigh 3t3. Hit is the titlet, token and tixt of her work 3. 1516 how la for her leal luff hor liu 3 han antered, endured for her drury doleful stound 3, and after wenged with her waller and voided her care, and bro 3t bliss into burr, with bounties horon. 1520, and 3 er nigh 3t com locust kid of your elda, your word and your workip walk 3 I quer. And I half sent by yourself here seer twise, et heard I newer of your hede held a no word 3 1524 that you were long to luff. Lastny more and 3 that are so cordays and coint of your hets, og to a 3 onk think 3 earn to shoe, and tesh some token 3 of tr well of crafts. 1528 yr 3 elude, thataleth thee lows well to 3, other els 3 demen me to dill your dalliance to herkin, for shame. I com hider sengel and sit, 1532 to learn at yow some game, das tesh 3 me of your wit, will my lord is fro hame. Side note I would learn, she says, why you who are so young and active. Side note E, you ought to show a young thing like me some token of true love's crafts. 16. In gowd faith, quad Gawayne, God yow for 3 elda, 1536 gret is the goad glee, and goman to me huge, that so worthy as 3 wold win hider, and pine yow with so power a moan, as play with your nigh 3t, with any skine 3 countenance, hit cure 3 me essay. 1540 bought to take thee toruel to myself, to trw luff expound and toch thee team 3 of tixt, and tail 3 of arm 3, to yow that, I wot well to 3 more sly 3t of that art, by thee half, or 100th of such 1544 as I am, other your shall, in thur ilu. Hit were a foal feel fold, my free, by my troth. I wold yower wilning wirch at my 3t, as I am high 3 lie by Halden, and you are more will 1540, 8 be seruant to your Selwyn, so saw me dry 3 tin. Thus him fraint that free, and fond it him oft forto half one in him to woe 3e, what so sco tho 3tl3. Bought he defended him so fair, that no fout semmed, 1552 ni non yule on nother hallow, nother they wiston bought bliss, they la threed and laked lunge, at the last sco con him kiss, 1556 her lu fair con sco fonge, and went here way iwis. Side note A, it is a great pleasure to me, says Sir Gawayne, to hear you talk, side note B, but I cannot undertake the task to expound true love and tales of arms. 17. Then Ruth's him the rank, and rises to the mass, and Scythen hor diner wat 3 die 3t, and darily serud. The lead with the late I 3 lake de day, bought the lord our the lon 3 launst fall oft, swe 3 his vienselly swin, that swinge 3 by the bonk 3. And boat the best of his break 3 the back 3 in sunder, 1564 thur he bode in his bay, tell bawmen hit brecken and made him, mawgref his bed, 4 to mwevt ter. So fell flown 3 per fleet, when the folk jettered. Bought 3 at the stifus to start by stown 3 he made, 1568, till at the last he wot 3 so mat, he my 3t no more ren. Bought and the hast that he my 3t, he to a whole win 3, of a ras, by a rock, thur ren 3 the bowen, he geet the bonk at his back, bigen 3 to scrape. 1572 the froth, femmed at his mouth vien fair by the wike 3, wet 3 his white touche 3. With him then irked a let the burn 3 so bold, that him by stoden to nigh him on ferrum, bought ni 3 e him non durst 1576, for woth. He haid hurt so money byforn, that al thu 3 teeth then full loath. Be more with his touche 3 torn, 1580 that bream wat 3 brain wad both. 18. Till the nigh 3 t com himself, catchand his blanc, see 3 him bide at the bay, his burn 3 byside, he lie 3 tesluff leicha down, lu 3 his courser, 1584 braid 3 out a bry 3 t bront, and bigly 4th stride 3, found 3 fast thur 3 the 4th, thur the fell bide 3, the wilda wat 3 war of the y3e with weapon in hand, hef high 3 lie the here, so headerly he f nast. 1588 that feel furred for the freak 3, lest fell him the wara, the swin set 3 him out on the seguin, that the burn and the bore were both v pon heap 3, in the y3 tsd of the water, the wara haid that other. 1592, for the moan merk 3 him well, as they met feast, set sadly the sharp in the slot ewan, hit him vp to the halt, that the hurt shindered, and he 3 arand him 3 elda, and 3 ed on the water, 1596 full tit, a hundredth hound 3 him hent, that breamly con him bite, burn 3 him bro 3 t to bent, 1600 and dog 3 to death and dite. 19. There wat 3 blawing of prize in money bream home, he 3 e haloing on high 3 e, with hathel 3 that my 3 t, brasheets bade that best, as bidden the maester 3, 1604 of that chargont chase that were chef hunts. Then a y3 e that wat 3 wise vpon wadcraft 3, to vien lace this bore luffly bigen 3, fiest he hues of his he d, and on high 3 e set 3. 1608 and Scythen ren 3 him al rog habai the rig after, braid 3 out the bowels, bren 3 home on gleed with bread blent thur, with his breaks reward 3. Scythen he Brittany 3 out the brawn in bry 3 t broad chelda 3, 1612 and hat 3 out the haselt 3, as high 3 tly by seam 3, and 3 at hem halch 3 al hole the hallow 3 to jetter, and Scythen on a stiff stange stoutly hem henges. Now with this ilk swin they swengen to home, 1616 thebors he d wat 3 born by 4 the burn Selwyn, that him for furred in the 4th, thur 3 for se of his hand, so strange, till he see 3 Sir Gawayne, 1620 in holla him though 3 t full lunge he callda, and he com gain, his fee 3 thur for to fange. Side note E, He next removes the bowels, broils them on the ashes, and therewith rewards his hounds. 20. The Lord full load with loat, and la threed myri, 1624 when he see 3 Sir G. With solace he speak 3, the gowd laid I 3 were getten, and jettered the many. He shew 3 hem the skelda 3, and shapes hem the tail, of the largesse and the length, the lythern 3 owls, 1628 of the were of the will to swin, in wad thur he fled. That other nigh 3 t full comely commended his deed 3, and praised hit as gret prize, that he proud haid, for such a brawn of a best, the bold Burnside, 1632 ni such sides of a swin, seg he newer are then handled they the hochi d, the hend moan hit praised, and let laudly theret the Lord forte here. Now Gawayne, quod the god moan, this gomen is your on 1636 by fin forward and fast, faidly 3 eno. Hit is soth, quod the seg, and as psycher trwe, alem I get I shall yow gif again, by my troth. He the hathel about the house, and Henley him kisses, 1640 and efter sons of the same he serud him there. Now are we ewan, quod the hathel, in this ewan tide, of a lethi cowanants that we knit, scythen I com hider, by law, 1644 the Lord said. By Saint Gile, are the best that I know, ben rich in a while, such chaffer and 3 drow. Side note A, the Lord of the land is well pleased when he sees Sir Gawayne. Side note B, he shows him the shields of the wild boar, and tells him of its length and breadth. Side note C, such a brawn of a beast, Sir Gawayne says, he never has seen. 21. 1648 then they telled at table 3 trests aloft, kesten cloth 3 vipon, clear lie 3 teeth then wackened by woe 3 3, waxen torches seg 3 set, and serud in sail all about. 1652, much glam and glee glent vp thurin knee. About the fire vipon flet, and on feel wise, at the soper and after, money athel songe 3, as cownjutes of Christmas, and carol 3 new, 1656, with a leth the mainerly mirth that moan may of tell. And ewer are luffleich nigh 3 teeth the lady byside, such semblant to that seg semly homemade, with still stallen countenance, that stalworth to please, 1660 that owl for wondered what 3 the y3 and wroth with him selwyn. Bot he nold not for his nurture nern here a3 ein 3, bot dalt with here al in daint, how see ewer the deed turn to rast. 1664, quen they haid played in holla, as lunge as whore will home last, to chamber he con him cal, and to the chemni they passed. 22. 1668 and they dronken, and Dalton, and deemed eft NWE, to norn on the same note, on NWE 3 3 ewan, bot the nigh 3 t crodlu, to care on the morn, for hit wat 3 ni 3 at the term, that he to shulda. 1672, the Lord him ledded of that, to lenge him restide and said. As I am trwe seg, I psycher my troth thou shall chew to the green chapel, thy chars to make lewd on NW3 3 lie 3 t, lunge by 4 prime, 1676 for thy tho lie in thy loft and latch thin essay, and I shall hunt in this holt, and halda thee toch 3, change with thee chuisance, by that I char hider. For I half frasted thee twise, and faithful I find thee. 1680 now trid time trow best thank on thee morn, make we murray quill we may, and min vipon ahoy, for thee lure may moan latch, when so moan like 3. This wat 3 graithly granted, and Gawayne is lenged, 1684 Blythebro 3 t wat 3 him drink, and they to bed 3 Eden with Lee 3 t, Sir G. Lees and sleeps, fall still and soft al nigh 3 t, 1688 the Lord that his craft 3 keeps, full early he wat 3 d 3 t. Side note D, that he shall come to the Green Chapel on New Year's morn long before prime. 23. After mess a morsel he and his men token, miry wat 3 the morning. His mounture he asks, 1692 aleth the hathels that on horse shulda held in him after, were bound busked on hor blanc 3, by 4 the holla 383. Furly fair wat 3 the fold, for the forced clenched, in reed rooted vipon rack rises the sun, 1696, and full clear cost 3 the clouds of the welkin. Hunters vn hardled by a holt side, Rochers roungen by rise, for word of her horns, some fell in thee fute, thir thee fox bade, 1,700 trail 3 off to traitors by tron of her wiles. A Kennet cries thereof, thee hunt on him calls, his fella 3 e's fallen him to, that nasted full thike, runnin' forth in a rabel in his rye 3 t fair. 1,704 and he fisk 3 hem by 4, they found in him sown, and quen they seg him with C3T, they sued him fast, re 3 and H full etterly with a wroth noise. And he trance and tourney 3 thir 3 money teen grew, 1,708 hamlon 3, and herking 3, by heg 3 full oft. At thee last by a little ditch he leap 3 hour a spene, steal 3 out full stilly by a strath rand, went half wilt of thee woad, with while 3 fro thee hounds. 1,712 then wat 3 he went, he wist, to a whale trister, thir tree tro at a trich trat him at ones. Al grey, he blenched a 3 ein billu, 1,716 and stifly start on stray, with a let thee woe on liu to thee wad he went away. Side note K, he comes upon one of the hunting stations where he is attacked by the dogs. 24. Then wat 3 hit lif vipon list to lithen thee hound 3, 1,720, when a let thee mute haid him met. Menge to jetter, such a sore 3 at that C3 they set on his heed, as a let thee clamber and cliffs haid clatered on heps. Here he wat 3 hallod, when Hathel 3 him metten, 1,724 loud he wat 3 eind, with 3 errands spetch. Thir he wat 3 treated, and oft theft called, and I thee titleras at his tail, that tarry he knee my 3T, oft he wat 3 runnin' at, when he outraked. 1,728 and oft relled in a 3 ein, so renired wat 3 waylay. And 3 he lad hem by lag, moan, thee lord and his many on this manor by thee mounts, quill mid, hour, viender. While thee hend nigh 3T at home wholesomely sleep 3. 1,732 within neath thee come lie courtins, on thee cold morn. Bought thee lady for luff let not to sleep, neath thee purpose to pay her. That pi 3T in here hurt. Bought rose here VP Radley, raked here theder. 1,736 in a murray mantle, meet to thee earth. That wat 3 furred full fine with fell 3, well pured, no HWE 3 gout on here heed, bought thee ha 3 stones trazed about here tresser, be 20 in clusters. 1,740 her truan face and here trot trowen al naked, her breast bare before, and by hind eke. Ho come 3 within neath thee chamber door, and closes hit here after Wayne 3 VP a window, and on thee y3 ecal 3 1,744 and Radley thus rehated him, with here rich word 3 with cheer. Moan how may thou sleep, this morning is so clear. He wat 3 in dropping de pe, bought then he con here. Side note F, meanwhile the knight at home, soundly sleeps within his comely curtains. 25. In dree 3 drooping of dream drawled that noble, as moan that wat 3 in morning of money troth o 3 tess. 1,752 how that destiny shuldeth that day his weed, at thee green chapel, when he thee gome meets. And by house his buffet abide, without he debate more, bought quen that come lie he cured his wits, 1,756 swenges out of thee swewings, and swear 3 with hast. Thee lady lufflich calm la 3 and sweet, fell our his fair face, and fetly him kissed. He welcomed 3 here worthily, with a whale cheer, 1,760 he see 3 here so glorious, and gaily aided. So fawdles of here fetchers, and of so fine hues, why 3T walland oy warmed his hurt. With smoth smiling and smolt they smetten into mirth, 1,764 that al wat 3 blies and bonchef. That breek hem biteween, and win, they lanced words goad, much wheel then wat 3 thurin knee, 1,768 gret peril biteween hemstod, nif mare of here nigh 3T min. Side note the knight was then dreaming of his forthcoming adventure at the Green Chapel. 26. For that Prince of Pris depreased him so thick, nerned him so knee 3 ethi tread, that need him by howd, 1,772 other latchther here luff, other lodly refuse, he cared for his cordesai, lest crathane he were, and more for his meshef, 3 if he shulda make sin, and be traitor to that talk, that telda a 3T, 1,776 God shilda, quad thee shock, that shall not be fall. With luffla 3ing a lit, he laid him by side a leth thee spetch 3 of specialty that sprange of her mouth. Quad that bird to thee burn, blame 3e desuru, 1780 if 3e luff not that lift that 3e lie next. By 4 aleth thee y 3e3 in thee worlda, wounded and hurt. Bought if 3e half a leman, a lure, that yow like 3 better. And folden faith to that free, festin so hard, 1784 that yow lawson knee list, and that I lu nouth. And that 3e tell me that, now trwly I pray yow, for a let thee loof 3 vpon liu, lane not thee soth for gile. 1788 thee nigh 3t said. Be sane ion, and smethly con he smile, in faith I well deny 3t non, ni non will well doth thee quile. Side note C, the lady inquire whether he has a mistress that he loves better than her. Side note D, Sir Gawayne swears by St. John that he neither has nor desires one. 27. 1792, that is a word. Quad that y3t. That worst is of a le, bot I am sweared for soth, that sore me think 3, kiss me now corally, and I shall cash hethen. I may bot morn vpon mold, as may that much lowas. 1796 sicken ho swe 3e down, and semly him kissed, and scythen ho sewers him fro, and says as ho stons. Now, Dara, at this departing, do me this essay. Give me some quad of thy gift, thy glow if hit were, 1800 that I may min on thee moan, my morning to lassen. Now iwis, quad that y3e, I wold I haid here thee Lewis thing for thy luff, that I in lond welda for 3e half deserved for soth, sellily oft 1804 more reward by resound, then I rechem my 3t. Bot to dealy yow for drare, that dod bot neeked. Hit is not your honor to half at this time a glow for a garasound, of Gawayne 3 gift 3, 1808 and I am here in a rand and erd 3 vienkouth, and ha no men with no male 3, with menskful thinge 3. That mislike 3 me lede, for luff at this time, ik talk moan do as he is tan, taz to non ale, 1812 knee pine. Nay, hend of high 3e honors, quad that luffsome viender line. Tha 3 I haid o 3t of your 3, 1816, et shulda 3 ha of mine. Side note D, Gawayne tells her that she is worthy of a better gift than he can bestow. 28. Ho ra 3t him a rich rink of red gold work 3, with a starin stond end aloft, that bear a blush end bemeth 3 as thee bry 3t son, 1820 wit 3e well, hit wat 3 worth wheel full hoj. Bought thee rank hit renade, and redily he said, I will no gift 3 for goad, my gay, at this time. I half none yow to norn, ni no 3t will I take. 1824 ho bead hit him full bicely, and he here bode werns, and swear swiftel his soth, that he hit sees nold, and ho sore that he forsook, and said thereafter. If 3e renee my rink, to rich for hit seem 3 1828 e wold not so high 3 lie halden be to me, I shall gif yow my girdle, that gains yow lass. Hola 3t a lace lie 3t ly, that leak vmba here side 3, knit vpon here kiedel vender the clear mantle. 1832 jerd hit wat 3 with green silk, and with gold shaped, no 3t bot around braden, but 10 with finger 3, and that ho bead to thee burn, and blicely by so 3t tha 3 hit vn worthy were, that he hit take wold. 1836 and he nay that he nold neg in no wise, nother gold ni garasound, God him grace send, to ache to thee chance that he had chosen theer. And therefore, I pray yow, displease yow no 3t, 1840 and let 3 be your by sinus, for I baith hit yow newer to grant, I am darily to yow by hold, by cause of your semblaunt, 1844 and you are in hot, and cold to be your trwe seriwant. Side note H, but promises, ever in hot and in cold to be her true servant. 29. Now forsake 3e this silk. Said thee bird then, for hit is simple in hitself, and so hit well seem 3 1848 low. So hit is little, and lass hit is worthy. Bot whoso knew thee costs that knit Arthur and knee. He wold hit praise at more prize, periunture. For quack gome so is gored with this green lace, 1852 while he hit haid heemly halched about, thur is no hathel viender hewen to hew him that my 3t, for he my 3t not he slain, for sly 3t vpon earth. Then kest thee nigh 3t, and hit come to his hurt, 1856 hit were a eul for the iaparde, that him eugd were, when he acud to the chapel, his check fort o fetch. My 3 he half sliped to the vienslain, the slee 3t were noble. Then ho thulged with here treep, and thold here to speak, 1860 and ho bara on him the belt, and bead hit him swithe, and he granted, and him gafe with a gowd will, and buys o 3t him, for here sake, desewer hit newer, bought to Lely Lane for here lord, the lude him accord 3. 1864 that newer y3e shulda hit wit, iwis, bought they twain for no 3t, he thonked here oft full swithe, full tro with hurt and tho 3t. 1868 by that on trin scythe, he hat 3 kissed the nigh 3t so to 3t. Side note B, whoso knew the virtues that it possesses would highly prize it. Side note G, he consents not only to take the girdle, but to keep the possession of it a secret. 30. Then latch 3 ho here lu and lu 3 him theer, for more meeth of that moan mo 3t ho not geet. 1872 when ho wat 3 gone, Sir Jeer 3 him sown, rises and riches him in a noble, lays vp the Lovelace, the lady him ra 3t, hit full holdly, thur he hit eft fond. 1876, Scythen Chuli to the chapel choses he the way, preuli aproc to oppressed, and prayed him theer that he wold lift his liff, and learn him better, how his Saul shulda be sawed, when he shuld say hethen. 1880 theer he shroff him surely, and shewed his misdead 3, of the more and the min, and mercy besech 3. And of absolution he on the seg calls, and he assoiled him surely, and set him so clean, 1884 as dome 3 day shulda half ben d 3t on the morn. And Scythen he mace him as Murray among the free ladies, with cumlich carols, and alekins oi, as newer he did bought that day, to the dirk ny 3t, 1888 with blies, vici moan haid daint there of him, and said iwis, thus myri he wot 3 newer are, 1892 sin he com hider, earthis. Side note G, he returns to the hall, and makes himself so merry among the ladies. 31. Now him lenge in that lee, thur luff him by tide, et is the lord on the lond, led and his gomnes. He hat 3 forferen this fox, that he fall 3 edlunge, 1896 as he sprent hour a spene, to spy the shrew thur as he heard the hounds, that hasted him swithe, Renaud com richton thur 3 a row 3 e grew, and a lethe rabel in a raise, rye 3t at his heel 3. 1900 the y3 e wat 3 war of the wilda, and warly abides, and braid 3 out the bry 3t brond, and at the best cast 3 and he shunt for the sharp, and shulda half erred, a ratch rapes him too, rye 3t he my 3t. 1904 and rye 3t, by 4 the horse fate they fell on him ale, and worried me this wily with a wroth noise. The lord lie 3t 3 billion, and cash 3 by sown, raised him full radly out of the ratch mouths, 1908 halda 3 he 3 e hour his heed, halo 3 fast, and thur bayan him money bray hound 3. Hunts high 3 ed hem theder, with horn 3 full money, I rechattened re 3t, till they the rank c3n. 1912, by that wat 3 commend his company noble, aleth that ewer bur bugle blowed at ones, and aleth eyes other haloed, that haid no horns, hit wat 3 the merriest mute that ewer men heard, 1916 the rich word that thur wat 3 raised for Renaud Saul with lote, whorehound 3 they thur reward, her heed 3 they fawn and frote, 1920 and Scythen they tan Reynard, and Tianan of his coat. 32. And then they held into home, for hit wat 3 nigh 3 ny 3t, strakened full stoutly in horse door horn 3. 1924 the lord is lie 3t at the last at his left home, find 3 fire vpon flet, the freak thur by side, Sir Gawayne the goad, that glad wat 3 with a le, among the ladies for luff he lad much goy, 1928 he were a blont of blwe, that brad to the earth. His surcot semmed him well, that soft wat 3 ford, and his hoed of that ilk henged on his shoulder, bland al of blonner were both all about. 1932 he meet 3 me this god moan and mid 3 the floor, and al with goman he him gret, and goudly he said, I shall fill vpon feast or ref forward 3 nouth, that we spidly han spoken, thur spared wat 3 no drink. Then ackles he nigh 3t and kisses him tries as sourly and sadly as he hem set couth. By Christ, quod that other nigh 3t, 3 cash much seal, in chuissance of this chaffer, 3 if 3 haid gowd cheap 3. 1940, 3 of thee cheap no charg, quod chef like that other, as is pertly paid thee cheap 3 that ia 3t. Mary, quod that other moan, min is by hind for I half hunted al this day, and no 3t half I get. 1944 bought this foul foxfell, thief and half thee goad 3, and that is full poor, for to pay for such prize thinges, as 3 half try 3t me here, tro such tree cosses so goad. 1948 I know 3, quod Sir Gawayne, I thonk yow by thee road, and how thee fox wat 3 slain, he told him as they stowed. 33. 1952 with mirth and minstrelsy, with meet 3 at whore will, they madden as murray as any men mo 310, with la 3 ing of ladies, with lote 3 of boards, Gawayne and thee goad moan so glad were they both. 1956 bought if thee douth had doted, other dronken ben other. Both thee moan and thee many madden money iep 3, till thee sesson wat 3 c3n, that they sewer most, burn 3 to whore bed behowed at thee last. 1960 then lo 3 lie his loo at thee lord feast fotch 3 this free moan, and fair he him thonk 3. Of such a sellily soyorn, as I half haid here your honor, at this high 3 fest, thee high 3 king yow 3 elda. 1964 I 3 f yow me for on of your 3, if yourself like 3, for I mo needs, as 3 wat mutamorn, and 3 me take some talk, to tesh as 3 high 3t, thee gate to thee green chapel, as God will me suffer 1968 to dealy, on in W3 ere 3 day, thee dome of my weeds. In God faith, quod thee God moan. With a gowd will I'll that ewer I yow high 3t, halda shall I read. Thura signas he a seriwant, to set him in thee way 1972 and coundu him by thee down 3, that he no dretch had, for to frk thur 3 thee frith, and fair at thee gainest, by grew, see Lord Gawayne conthonk, 1976 such workip he wold him wew then at tho ladi 3 w lonk, see nigh 3t hat 3 tan his loo. 34. With care and with kissing, he carp 3 hem till 1980 and feel truand thonk 3 he trat home to ha, and they 3 elden him ai 3 eply that ilk, they by kend him to Christ, with full cold sickinge 3. Scythen fro thee many he menskly departs, 1984 vici moan that he met, he made hem a thonk for his serais, and his solace, and his seer pine, that they with bizines had been, about him to Sero, and vici seg as sore, to sewer with him theer, 1988 as they haid wond worthily with that w lonk ewer. Then with leads and lie 3t he wat 3 lad to his chamber, and blibly bro 3t to his bed to be at his rest. If he nee sleep soundily, say nee dar I 1992 for he haid much on thee morn to min, 3 if he wold, in tho 3t, let him lie 3 ether still, he hat 3 near that he so 3t, 1996 and 3 will a while be style, I shall tell yow how they row 3t. Side note C, he then departs, thanking each one he meets for his service and solace. 1. Now nee 3 3 thee and w3 air, and thee ny 3t pass 3, thee day drew 3 to thee dirk, as dry 3 tin bid 3, 2000 bought wilda wedder 3 of thee world a wacken thereout, clouds kesten kenly thee cold to thee earth, with ny3 and nog of thee north, thee naked to teen thee snaw snidered full snart, that snaped thee wilda, 2004 thee werbeland wind wapped fro thee high 3 and droff vici dale full of drifts full gret. Thee lewd listened full well, thatla 3 in his bed, thaw 3 he loke 3 his lid 3, full little he sleeps, 2008 by VCH cock that crew, he knwe well thee stewin. Delirely he dressed VP, earthy day sprenged, for theer wat 3 lie 3t of a lop, that lemmed in his chamber. He called to his chamberlain, that coffly him sweared, 2012 and bede him bring him his brunny, and his blanc sadel that otherfirk 3 him VP, and fetch 3 him his weed 3. And graith 3 me Sir Gawayne vipon a gret wise. Viest he clad him in his cloth 3, thee cold for to were 2016 and scythen his other harness, that holdly wat 3 keeped, both his paunts, and his plate 3, piked full clean, thee ringe 3 rocked of thee roust, of his rich brunny and al wat 3 fresh as vipon feast, and he wat 3 fain then 2020 to thonk. he haid vpon vici peace, whipped full well and w lonk, the gayest into Greece, 2024 the burn bead bring his blanc. Side note F, he calls for his chamberlain and bids him bring him his armor. 2. While the w lonkest weds he warp on him Selwyn, his coat, with be connaissance of the clear work 3 and earned vpon velut virtuous stone 3, 2028 about beten, and bounden and broaded seam 3, and fair furred with a knee with fair pellors. Et laughed he not the lace, the lady 3 gift, that forgat not Gawayne, for goad of him Selwyn, 2032 by he haid belted the brond vpon his bow 3 e haunch 3, then dressed he his drury double him about. Swithe swetheled vmbe his swange sweetly, that nigh 3t, the gordle of the green silk, that gay well by seamed, 2036 vpon that ryal red cloth, that rich wat 3 to shoe. Botward not this ilk y3e for wheel this gordle, for pride of the pendant 3, tha 3 polis they were and tha 3 the glytrin gold glent vpon end 3, 2040 bot forto saw in himself, when suffer him by howd. To bide bail without he dabate of brond him to were, other nif, by that the bold moan bown, 2044 win 3 therout billu, aleth the many of renown, he thonk 3 oft full rew. 3. Then wat 3 gringullet graith, that gret wat 3 and huge, and haid ben soyrn sourly, and in a syker wise him list prick for point, that proud horse then, the y3 e win 3 him 2 and white 3 on his lyre, and said soberly himself, and by his soth swear 3 2052, here is a many in this mote, that on mensk thank 3, the moan hem maintains, I mothe ha. The lu lady, on liu luff here by tide, if they for charite chures in a jest, 2056 and halden honor in her hand, the hathel hem 3 elda, that halda 3 the hewen vpon high 3 e, and also yawa le. And 3 if I my 3 t lif vpon lon lead any quill, I shuld retch yow some reward redally, if I my 3 t, 2060 then step 3 he into stirop, and stride 3 aloft, his shock shoed him his skelda, on shoulder he hit la 3 t, gored 3 to gringullet with his gilt heel 3, and he start 3 on the ston, stod he no lenger, 2064 to prance, his hathel on hors wat 3 then, that beara his spear and lance. This castle to Christ I ken, 2068, he Jeff hit I God chance. Side note C, Gawayne returns thanks for the honor and kindness shown to him by all. Side note F, this castle to Christ I commend, may he give it ever good chance. 4. The brig wat 3 braid down, and the broad 383 vn barred and born open, vpon both hallow, the burn blessed him billu, and the breed 3 passed. 2072 praises the porter by 4 the prince Neld, Jeff him God and gowd day, that Gawayne he saw and went on his way with his y3e1, that shulda tesh him to turn to that teen place, 2076 thir the rueful race he shulda resay you. They bo 3 n by bonk 3, thir bo 3e3 r bear they clommen by cliff 3, thir clench 3 the cold, the hewen wat 3 vp halt, bot viglyther viender, 2080 mist mugged on Themore, malt on Themount 3, VCH Hill haid a hat, a mistakel huge, broke 3 biled and breek, by bonk 3 about Shire Shatterand on score 3, thir they down scouyed. 2084 Welliel wat 3 theway, thir they by wad shulden, till hit wat 3 sown sesson, that the sun rises, that tide. They were on a hill full high 3e, 2088 the quit snaw lay by side. The burn that rod him by beat his maester abide. 5. For I half one in yow hider, y3e at this time, 2092 and now nar 3e not fro that note place. That 3e hands spied and spurried so specially after. Bot I shall say yow for soth, scythen I yow know, and 3e are a lead vpon liu, that I well lowy. 2096 wold 3e warch by my wit, 3e worth thee better. The place that 3e priest to, full perilous is halden, thir 1 3 a y3e in that waist, the worst vpon earth for he is stiff, and stern, and to strike lowies, 2100 and more he is than any moan vpon midellard, and his body bigger than the best fower. That are an Arthur 3 whose, Hester other. He chew 3 that chance at the chapel green, 2104 thir passes non by that place, so proud in his arms, that he need in 3 him to death, with dint of his hand, for he is a moan methils, and mercy non v says for be hit chorl, other chaplain, that by the chapel rides, 2108 monk, other mass breast, other any moan els, him think as queem him to quell, as quick go him selwyn. For thigh I say thee as soth as 3e in sadel sit, com 3e theer, 3e be killed, may thee nigh 3t read, 2112 troth 3 e me that tr welly, thaw 3e had 20 lews to spend. He hat 3 wanted here full 3 or on bent much barret bend, 2116 a 3 ein his dint 3 sore, e may not yow defend. Side note F, none passes by the green chapel that he does not ding to death with dint of his hand. Side note G, for be it churl or chaplain, monk, mass priest, or any man else, he kills them all. 6. For thigh gowd Sir Gawayne let thee gome 1, and got 3 away some other gate. Vipon god 3 halu, 2120 kr 3 by some other kith, thir christ mo yow speed. And I shall hie 3 me home a 3 ein, and heat yow fear, that I shall swear by God, and a le his goad hal 3e3, as help me God and thee halidum, and oath 3 in Nogha 2124 that I shall lely yow lane, and lance newer tail, that you were 3e fondit to flee, for freak that I wist. Grant merci, quod Gawayne, and grutching he said, well worth thee y3e, that wold 3 my goad, 2128 and that lely me lane, I lew well thu wold 3. Bot held a thu hit newer so hold, and I here passed, founded for furred for to flee, informed that thu tell 3, I were a nigh 3t coward, I my 3t not be excused. 2132 bot I y1 to thee chape 1, for chance that may fall, and talk with that ilk tulk thee tail that me list, worth hit wheel, oath or woe, as thee weed like 3 hit hafe. 2136 thaw 3, he be a stern nape, to sty 3 tell, and stad with staw full well con dry 3 tin shape, his want 3 fordo saw. Side note C, I swear by God and all his saints, that I will never say that ever ye attempted to flee from any man. Side note D, Gawayne replies that to shun this danger would mark him as a coward knight. 7. 2140 Mary. Quod that other moan, now thu so much spell 3, that thu wilt thin on nine to thy selwyn, and thee list lees thy lif, thee let I knee keep, half your thigh helmy on thigh heed, thigh spear and thigh hond, 2144 and ride me down this ilk rake, by 3 on rock side, till thu be bro 3t to thee botham of thee brem valley. Then look a little on thee lond, on thigh lift hond, and thu shall see in that slade thee self chapel, 2148 and thee borlich burn on bent, that hit keep 3. Now fare 3 well on goad 3 half, Gawayne thee noble, for a let thee gold vipon ground I nold go with thee, knee beareth thee fella 3 skip thir 3 this frith on foat fear. 2152 by that thee y3e and thee wad wend 3 his bridle, hit thee whores with thee heel 3, as hard as he my 3t, leap 3 him our thee lond, and lew 3 thee nigh 3t theer. Al 1, 2156, by God 3 self, quod Gawayne, I will not regret knee groan to God 3 will I am full bane, and to him I half me tone. Side note a Mary, quoth the other, since it pleases thee to lose thy life. Side note B, take thy helmet on thy head, and thy spear in thy hand, and ride down this path by yon rock side. Side note E, and thou shalt see the chapel itself, and the man that guards it. Side note G, by God's self, says Sir Gawayne, I will neither weep nor groan. 8. 2160 then Giad 3 he to Gringolet, and Jedir 3 thee rake, scow you 3 and by a score, at a shaw 3 e side, ride 3 thir 3 thee row 3 e bonk, rye 3 t to thee dale and then he waited him about, and wilda hit him though 3 t. 2164 and c3 e no signy of reset, by side 3 nowhere. Bot high 3 e bonk 3 and Brent, vipon both hallow, and rue 3 e knockled nar 3, with norn stone 3. Thee esque 3 of thee scouts skayud him though 3t. 2168 then he howed, and with Hilda his whores at that tide, and off changed his share, thee chapel to setch, he see 3 non such and no side, and selly him though 3t, sown a little on a lond, a law as hit we 2172 a bow 3 burr 3, by a bonk, thee brim by side, by a for 3 of a flowed, that firked there, thee born blubbered thurin knee, as hit boiled hade. Thee nigh 3t cake 3 his capel, and com to thee law 2176 lie 3t 3 down luff lily, and at a lind tash 3 the rein, and his rich, with a row 3 e branch. Theen he bow 3e3 to the bur 3e, about hit he walk, debatten with himself, quat hit be my 3t. 2180 hit hate a hole on the end, and on either side, and our growen with gressing glodes eyewear, and al wat 3 hall 3 in with, nabot an oldie caw or a cruis of an oldie crag, he couth hit no 3t deem 2184 with spell. We, lord, quad the gentle nigh 3t, whether this be the green chapel. He my 3t about mid ny 3t, 2188 deally his matins tell. Side note C, he sees no sign of a resting place, but only high and steep banks. Side note H, he walks around the hill, debating with himself what it might be. 9. Now I wis, quad Wowing, Wisty is here. This orator is Vigli, with herb 3 hour growen well by seam 3 the y3 e ruxold and green 2192 de la hear his duxiown, on the duel 3 wise, now I feel hit is the fend, in my few wit 3. That hat 3 stoken me this stewin to stry me here, this is a chapel of meshants, that check hit by tide. 2196 hit is the corsetist kiek, that ewer I common knee. With he 3 e helmy on his heed, his lance in his hand, he roamed 3 vp to the rock of tho row 313, then heard he of that high 3 e hill, in a hard roch 2200 by 3 on the broke, in a bonk, a wonder bream noise quat, hit clatered in the cliff, as hit clue shulda, as 1 vpon a grindelston hade ground in a scythe what. Hit ward and wet as water at a mulney 2200 for what. Hit rushed and range wroth to hear. Then by God, quad Gawayne, that jeer as I trow is riched at the ruerance me rank to meet. By rote, 2208 let God wirch we loo, hit help 3 me not a mote. My lif thaw 3 I forgoo, dreed dot 3 me no lote. Side note B, a fitting place for the man in green to deal here his devotions in devil fashion. Side note H, though my life I forgo, says the knight, no noise shall terrify me. 10. 2212 then the nigh 3t con cal full high 3e, who sty 3tle3 in this stead me stewin to hold, for now is goad gowing goned ry 3t here, if any y3e03t will win hider fast, 2216 other now, other newer, his need 3 to speed. Abide, quad on the bonk, a bowen hour his heed, and thu shall half allen hast, that I the high 3t ones. Et he rushed on that word, rapely a trow, 2220 and with quetting a wharf, he wold lie 3t. And scythen he cure 3 by a crag, and come 3 of a hole, wheeland out of a row, with a fell weapon a dean 3 axe nwe die 3t, the dint with o3 elda 2224 with a borlich bite, bend by the halmy, filed in a filer fower foat large, hit wat 3 no lass, by that lace that lemmed full bry 3t. And the gome and the arene jerd as feast, 2228 both the lyre and the leg 3, lock 3, and bird. Saw that fair on his foat he found 3 on the earth, set the steel to the stone and stalked by side. When he wanteth the water, thur he wade nold, 2232 he hipped hour on his axe and orpidly stride 3, bremly broth on a bent, that broad wat 3 about on snaw, Sir Gawayne the nigh 3t con meet. He ne let him no thing low that other said, now Sir Sweet, of stewin moan may the trow. 11. Gawayne, quad that green gome, God the moloch 2240 I wis thu art welcome, why 3e to my place. And thu hat 3 timed thy trial as true moan shulda, and thu no 3 the cowanont 3 kest vus bytween. At this time 12 thu toke that the falled, 2244 and I shulda, at this nwe 3 ere 3 eply the quit. And we are in this valley, verily are one, here are no ranks versus to rid, relay as vus like 3. Half thy helmy of thy heed, and half here thy pay. 2248 busk no more debate than I thee bead then, when thu whipped of my heed at a wap one. Nay, by God, quad Gawayne, that me gost lant, I shall grutch thee no grwe, for grem that fall 3, 2252 bots d3 tell thee vpon on strock, and I shall ston style, and warp thee no warning, to warches thee like 3 no war. He lend with thee neck, and lut, 2256 and shewed that shire Albert, and let as he know 3t dut, for dreed he wold not dare. Side note G, by God, quoth Sir Gawayne, I shall not begrudge thee thy will. 12. Then thee gome and thee green graithed him swithe, 2,260 jettier 3 ip highs grim toll, Gawayne to smite. With a lethe burr in his body he burr hit on loft, munt as ma 3 tiley, as mar him he wold. Haid hit drew in a down, as dree 3 as he addled, 2,264 thur haid ben dead of his dint, that do 3 tie wat 3 ewer. Bot Gawayne on that jicern glyphed him byside, as hit com glide into down, on glowed him to shend, and shrank a lytle with thee shoulders, for thee sharp Ian. 2,268 that other shock with a shunt thee sheen withheld a 3, and then reprued he thee prince with money proud word 3. Thu art not Gawayne, quod thee gome, that is so gowd halden, that newer are 3 ed for no here, by hill knee be vale, 2,272, and now thu fles for furred, thu feel harm 3. Such cowardice of that nigh 3 tea cowth I newer here. Nother fike die, ni flaw 3 freak, quen thu mintist, ni kest no coilashin, in kinge 3 whose Arthur, 2,276 my heed flaw 3 to my fote, and 3 at flaw 3 I newer and thu, any harm hent, R3 and hurt, were for thee better burn me bird be called therefore. 2,280 quad g. I shunt 1 3, and so will I no more, bot pa 3 my heed fall on thee stone 3, I con not hit restore. 13. 2284 bot busk, burn, by thy faith, and bring me to thee point. Delete me my destiny, and do hit out of hand, for I shall ston thee a strock, and start no more, till thin axe haw me hit, half year my troth. 2,288, half at thee then, quad that other, and hew 3 hit aloft, and wait 3 as wrothly, as he woed were, he mint 3 at him ma 3 tiley, bot not thee moan rew 3, withheld a headerly hs hand, hit hurt my 3 t. 2,292 Gawayne graithly hit bide 3, and glent with no member, bot stowed style as thee ston, other a stub author, that wraithled is in roch ground, with wrote 3 a hundredth. Then murrayly eft con he meal, thee moan and thee green, 2,296, so now thu hat 3 thigh hurt hall hit me bihis, haldeth thee now thee high 3 hode, that Arthur thee raw 3 t, and keep thy canal at this kest, 3 if hit cure may. G. Full grindily with gream then said, 2,300 why tresh on, thu tro moan, thu treat 3 to lunge, I hope that thy hurt are 3 with thin on Selwyn. For soth, quad that other freak, so felly thu speak 3, I will no lenger on light let thin earned, 2,304 rye 3 t no. Then taz he him strith to strike, and flounces both lip and brow, no merrywell thaw 3 him mislike, 2,308 that hoped of no riscow. Side note E. Now, says the Green Knight, I must hit thee since thy heart is whole. 14. He lifts lie 3 tly his loam, and let hit down fair, with thee barb of thee bit by thee bare neck thaw 3 he homered headerly, hurt him no more, 2,312 bot sniet him on that on side, that seward thee hide, thee sharp shrank to thee flesh thur 3 thee shire grease, that thee sheen blowed over his shoulders scot to thee earth. And quen thee burn C3 thee blowed blank on thee snot 2,316, he sprit forth spen fote more than a spear length, hent headerly his helmy, and on his he decast, Scott with his shoulder 3 his fair skell de viender, braid 3 out a bry 3 t sword, and breamly he speak 3 2,320 newer sin that he wot 3 burn born of his mater, wot 3 he newer in this worlda, why 3 half so blithe. Blin, burn, of thy burr, bead me no mo. I half a stroke in this stead without he striff hent, 2,324, and if though richeth 3 me any mo, I redilely shall quit. And 3 elda 3 etterly a 3 ein, and thir to 3 e trist, and foo bot on stroke hear me fall 3, 2,328 thee cowanont scop rye 3 t so in Arthur 3 holla 3, and therefore hend now who. 15. The Hathel held it him fro, and on his axe rested, 2,332 set thee shaft vpon score, and to be sharp lend, and loke to thelude, that on thelond 3 ada, how that do 3 tie dreddles darrowly thur stond 3, armed full a 3 la 3, in hurt hit him like 3. 2,336 then he meal 3 murrayly, with a much stewin and with a rykand rurd he to thee rank said. Bold burn, on this bent be not so grindle, no moan here vien mainerly thee mise boden hab, 2,340 knee kid, bought as cowanond, at kinge 3 court shaped. I high 3 t thee a strock, and thu hit hat 3, halda thee well paid. I reles thee of thee remnant, of rye 3 tes a le other, if I deli or had benny, a boffet, paraunter, 2344 I couth rothloker halfwert, to thee half row 3 t anger. Feest I mance thee murrayly, with a mint one and row thee with no roff, sore with rye 3 t I thee proffered, for thee forward that we festen thee feest and y 3 t, and thu tristily thee troth and trwly me halda 3. Al thee gain tho me jeff, as God moan shulda, that other munt for thee moan, I thee proffered, thu kisseds my clear whiff, thee cost 3 me raw 3 t 3. 2,352, for both 2 here I thee bead bought 2 bare mints, bout skaith. TRWE restore, then thar moan dreed no waith, 2,356, at thee trid thu failed Thor, and thurfer that tap ta thee. Side note F, I menace thee with 1 blow for the covenant between us on the first night. Side note H, a true man should restore truly, and then he need fear no harm. Side note I, thou failedst at the 3rd time, and therefore take thee that tap. CL 1861. 16. For hit is my weed that thu were 3, that ilk wowen girdle. Min owen whiff hit thee wewed, I wot well forsoth, 2,360 now know I well thy causes, and thy costs als, and thee wowing of my whiff, I row 3 t hit my saloon I send here to assay thee, and softly me think 3, on thee fautalist freak, that you are on foat 3 ada, 2,364 as pearl by thee quite peas is of prize more, so is Gawayne in God faith, by other gay nigh 3 t 3. Bought here you lacked a little, sir, and loot yow wanted bought that wat 3 for no wilied work, ni wowing nother, 2,368 bought for 3 e luft your liff, thee lass I yow blame. That other stiff moan and study stod a gret while, so agrid for gream he gried within knee, a leth thee blowed of his breast blend in his face, 2,372 that al he shrank for scome, that thee shock talked. Thee form word vipon fold, that thee freak meld, Corstworth cowardize and cowatize both. In yow is villainy and vise, that virtue destry 3. 2,376 then he caw 3 t to thee not, and thee kest laws 3, braid brothly thee belt to thee burn Selwyn. Lo, thir thee falsing, foul mo hit fall. For care of thigh not cowardize me ta 3 t 2,380 to accord me with cowatize, my kin to forsake. That is larges and loot. That lunge 3 to nigh 3 t 3. Now am I faughty and false and furred half ben ewer, of treachery and vientroth both by tide sore 3 e 2,384 and care. I by no yow nigh 3 t, here style, al faughty is my fare, leet 3 me hour take your will, 2,388 and effel I shall beware. 17. Then lo 3 e that other lewd, and lufflily said, I held a hit heartily whole, thee harm that I hade, thu art confessed so clean, be known of thymuses 2,392 and hat 3 thee penance appert, of thee point of min egg. I held a thee polished of that ply 3 t, and pured as clean as thu hade 3 newer forfeited, scythen thu wat 3 feest born. And I give thee, sir, thee girdle that is gold hemmed, 2,396 for hit is green as my gown, Sir G. 3 e may thank vipon this ilk treep, thir thu forth tringe 3 among princes of prize, and this a pure token of thee chaunce of thee green chapel, at Chewelris nigh 3 t 3, 2,400, and 3 e shall in this NWE 3 a 3 ein to my 1 3, and we shin rule thee remnant of this rich fest, full benny. Thur lathed him fast thee lord, 2,404 and said, with my whiff, I ween, we shall yow well accord, that wat 3 your enemy keen. Side note F, come again to my abode, and abide there for the remainder of the festival. 18. Nay, forsooth, quod Theseg, and seized his helmy, 2,408 and hat 3 hit of Henley, and thee hathel thonk 3. I half soyerned sadly, seal yow bidide, and he 3 elda hit yow 3 are, that 3 arc 3 almensks, and come on 3 me to that cordays your comlich fear, 2,412 both that on and that other, min honored lady 3. That thus hor nigh 3 t with horkest hand quaintly bijled. Bot hit is no furly, thaw 3 a full mad, and thir 3 wiles of women be one to soar 3 e, 2,416, for so wat 3 Adam and Erd with 1 bijled, and Salomon with feel seer, and Samson eft sown 3, Dalit adult him highs weed, and doith thereafter wat 3 blended with Barsabe, that much bale thold. 2,420 now these were wrathed with her wiles, hit were a win huge to luff home well, and lu hem not, allude that couth, for thes were forn thee freest that fall 3 ed alethi seal. Excellently of alethi's other, viender hewen rich that mused, and alethe were bywild. With women that they ve said, tha 3 I be now bijled, 2428, methink me bird be excused. Side note C, commend me to your comely wife and that other lady who have beguiled me. Side note D, but it is no marvel for a man to be brought to grief through a woman's wiles. 19. Bought your gordle, quad G, God yow for 3 elde. That will I welda with good will, not for thee win gold, neath thee saint, neath thee silk, neath thee side pendons, 2432 for wheel, knee for worship, knee for thee w lonk work 3. Bought insigny of my surfeit I shall see hit oft, when I ride in renown, remord to myceluan thee fout and thee faintize of thee flesh crabbed, 2436 how tender hit is to entice teshes of filth. And thus, quen pride shall me prick, for prows of arms, thee loke to this luff lace shall leath my hurt. Bought on I wold yow pray, displesses yow newer, 2440 sin 3 e be lord of thee 3 ond lond, thur I half lent in knee. With yow with worship, thee y 3 e hit yow 3 elda that vp halda 3 thee hewen, and on high 3 sit 3. How norn 3 e yower rye 3 t gnome, and then no more. 2444, that shall I tell thee trwly. Quad that other then? Burn like to hot desert I hat in this lond, thur 3 my 3 t of morgny la fay, that in my whose lenges, and cointies of clergy, by crafts well learned, 2448 thee maesters of Merlin, money ho taken, for ho hat 3 dalt dri full dara sometime. With that canable clerk, that knows a layer nigh 3 t3 at hame. 2452 morgny thee gods, therefore hit is here name. Welda 3 non so high 3 e hottes, that ho ni con make full tame. Side note F, the Green Knight replies, I am called Burnlek de Hot Desert, through might of Morgan Le Fay, the pupil of Merlin. 20. 2456 Ho Wayne me vipon this wise to your win holla, for to assay thee circuiter, 3 if hit soth were, that rents of thee gret renown of thee round table. Ho Wayne me this wonder, your wit 3 to rue 2460 for to half grood gainer, and gart here to die 3 e. With gopning of that ilk goman, that goslich speaked with his heed in his hand, by 4 thee high 3 e table. That is ho that is at home, thee Auncian lady, 2464 ho is you and thin aunt, Arthur 3 half suster, thee Dutches do 3 tur of tintagel, that dara vitur after haid Arthur vipon, that Athel is noth. Therefore I eth thee Hathel to come to thigh not, 2468 make Myrian my whose my many thee lowies, and I wall thee as well y3e by my faith, as any gome viender god for thigh gret troth. And he nicked him nay, he nold by no ways, 2472 thay Accolin and Kissin, Either Other to thee Prince of Paradise, and Parton Rye 3 teethier, on Coolda, Gawin on Blanc full Benny, 2476 to thee Kinge 3 Burr 3 Busk 3 Bold, and thee nigh 3 t in thee incur green, wider ward so ewer he wold. Side note it was she who caused me to test the renown of the round table. 21. Willed away 3 in thee world a woen now ride 3, 2480 on Gringullet, that thee grace haid getten of his lieu, oft he Herbert in house, and oft al therout, and money aventure in vale, and vanquished oft, that I need tie 3t, at this time, in tail to remeen. 2484 thee hurt wat 3 hole, that he haid hent in his neck, and thee blickend belt he beareth thereabout. A belef as a boderick, bounden by his side, loken v ender his lift arm, thee lace, with a knot 2488 in tokening he wat 3 tane in tech of a fought, and thus he comes to thee court, nigh 3 t al in sound. Thur wackend wheel in that one, when whist thee gret, that goed g. Wat 3 common, gain hit him though 3 t, 2492 thee king kiss 3 thee nigh 3 t, and thee ween als and scythen money psycher nigh 3 t, that so 3 t him to hales, of his fair that him framed, and furlily he tells. By no 3 a leth thee costs of care that he haid, 2496 thee chaunce of thee chapel, thee cheer of thee nigh 3 t, thee luff of thee laddie, thee lace at thee last. Thee nert in thee neck he naked hem shoed, that he law 3 t for his vien lute at thee ludes hans, 2500 for blame, he tend quen he shall tell. he groaned for gref and grame, thee blowed in his face con mel, 2504 when he hit shoulda shoe for shame. Side note L. He groaned for grief and shame, and the blood rushed into his face. 22. Lo, Lord, quod thee lude, and thee lace hondled. This is thee bend of this blame I bear on my neck. This is thee lath and thee loss, that I la 3 t ha 2508 of quad eyes and cowaties, that I have ca 3 teeth there, this is thee token of vie and troth, that I am tan in knee. And I mo need 3 hit were, while I may last, for non may hide in his harm, bot vie and hap knee may hit, 2512, for thir hit 1 3 is taxed, twin will hit newer. Thee king comfort 3 thee nigh 3 t, and a leth thee court owls, le 3 en loud thuret, and lufflily accorden, that lords and laddies, that long to thee table. 2516 vici burn of thee, brother heed a boderick shoulda ha a bend, a belef him about, of a bry 3 t green and that, for sake of that seg, in sweet to were. For that wat 3 accorded thee renown of thee round table, 2520, and he honored that hit haid, you were more after, as hit is brewed in thee best boke of Ramons. Thus in Arthurus day this anter by tid, thee Brutus bokes thorough burrs witness, 2524 Scythen Brutus, thee bold burn bow 3 hider feast, after thee seg and thee assault wat 3 seized at Troy, I wis, money anter 3 here by forn, 2528 half fallen such earth this, now that beareth thee crown of thorn, he bring thus to his bliss. Amen. Side note E. Each knight of the Brotherhood agrees to wear a bright green belt. Notes. Line 8 Rickey's turns goes the king, Rickey's his rainies and the rank meddies, Gurdon to Jedure with Theer Gret spares, T. B. L 1232. 37 This king lay at Camelot vipon Christmas. Camelot in Malory's Mort Arthur is said to be the same as Winchester. Ritson supposes it to be Caerwent in Monmouthshire, and afterwards confounded with Caerwent or Winchester. But popular tradition here seems the best guide, which assign the site of Camelot to the ruins of a castle on a hill near the church of South Cadbury in Somersetshire, Sir F. Madden. 65 Noel nated onu, new and full oft. Christmas celebrated anew, mentioned full often. Sir F. Madden leaves the word nated unexplained in his glossary to Sir Gawayne. 124 Silwiner equals Silurin, i.e. silver dishes. 139 Lins equals lens, loins. 142 in his muckle, in his greatness. 184 Watt 3 used al umtorn, was trimmed, all cut evenly around. Umtorn may be an error for VMB koru equals cut round. 216 in Gracio's works. Sir F. Madden reads Grackens for Gracios and suggests Greek as the meaning of it. 244-5 as al were slyped vipon sleep, so slaked hor lot 3 in high 3e, as all were fallen asleep so ceased their words in haste, suddenly. Sir F. Madden reads slaked hor lot 3 instead of slaked hor lot 3, which, according to his glossary, signifies drunken vagabonds. He evidently takes hor lot 3 to be another, and a very uncommon form of harlot 3 equals harlots. But harlot or vagabond would be a very inappropriate term to apply to the noble knights of the Round Table. Moreover, slaked never, I think, means drunken. The general sense of the verb slake is to let loose, lessen, cease, cf. Lines 411-2, where sloke, another form of slake, occurs with a similar meaning. Late no fear bot slokes. Seek no further, but stop, cease. Sir F. Madden suggests blows as the explanation of slokes. It is, however, a verb in the imperative mood. 286 Brain. Matzner suggests brainwad. 296 Barley equals parloy. This word is exceedingly common in the tea book, see L 3391. I bid you now, Barley, with besins at all that, ye set you most sovereignly my suster to geet. T. B. L 2780. 394 Psycher. Sir F. Madden reads swur. 440 Bluck. Sir F. Madden suggests blunk horse. I am inclined to keep to the reading of the Ms. and explain bluck as equals bulk equals trunk. Cf. The use of the word block in early English alliterative poems, p. 100, L 272. 558 Daru dole, etc. equals great grief. Sir F. Madden reads dern, i.e. secret, instead of daru equals derf. Cf. Line 564. 577 Naged, fastened. The branches were borely, some of bright gold, with Louis full lovely, light of the same, with berries a bough bright to behold, and fruit on it formed of fairest of shap, of money kin that was knit, nagged a bough. T.B. L 4973. 629, and I quer hit is endel 3. Etc. and everywhere it is endless, etc. Sir F. Madden reads emdel 3, i.e. with equal sides. 652, for be equals for by equals surpassing, beyond. 681, for had it read hallet equals hailed equals exiled. See line 1049. 806 oinant equals oinant, pleasantly. Sir F. Madden reads amnant. 954 of, should we not read on? 957, that other with a gorger wat 3 jerd our the swire. The gorger or wimple is stated first to have appeared in Edward I's reign, and an example is found on the monument of Aveline, Countess of Lancaster, who died in 1269. From the poem, however, it would seem that the gorger was confined to elderly ladies, Sir F. Madden. 968, more liquor-wise on to lick, wat 3 thatsco had on load. A more pleasant one to like was that, one she had under her control. 988 tate equals lively, and hence pleasant, agreeable. 1015 in vayers, in purity. 1020 dut equals dint, referring to sword sports. 1022 sane Ione 3 day. This is the 27th of December, and the last of the feast. Sometimes the Christmas festivities were prolonged to New Year's Day, Sir F. Madden. 1047 dern deed equals secret deed. I would prefer to read darrow deed equals great deed. Cf. Lines 558, 564. 1053 I wot in worlda, etc. equals I know not in worlda, etc. 1054 I nold, but if I hit neg my 3t on NW3 Ersmorn for a lethe lond in withloggers, etc. I would not, unless I might approach it on New Year's morn for all the lands within England, etc. 1074 in spen equals in space equals in the interval equals meanwhile. See line 1503. 1160 slenting of Arwiz. Sir F. Madden reads sluting. Of drawing sorties sklenting to and fra, the bricked medal and author armoris ser, quaherin the sunnies blankies biddies clare, glitteris and shane, and viender bemies bricked, casties a new twinkling or a lemond licked. G. Douglas Enade, Volume I, p. 421. 1280 one let lick appeared pleased. 1283 thaw 3 I were bird by 3 test, the bird in mindhade, etc. The sense requires us to read, thaw 3 ho were bird by 3 test, the burn in mindhade, etc. I. E. Though she were lady fairest, the knight in mind had, etc. 1440 long sithen for the sounder that y 3t for old long since separated from the sounder or heard that fierce one, foraged grew very old. Now to speak of the boar, the feast year he is a pig of the sounder called, as ha I blies, the second year an hog, and so shall he be, and an hogester when he is of years 3, and when he is 4 year a boar shall he be from the sounder of the swine then departeth he, a singular is he sue, for alone he will go. Book of St. Albans, ed. 1496 sig d.I. 1476 totes looks, toots, show went up whitely by a wall side, to the top of a tour and tot hour the water tb. L 862. 1623, a verb seems wanting after Lord. 1702 F nasted, breathed. These baleful bests were, as the boke tellus, full flamand of fire with F nasting of log, T.B. L 168. 1710 a straw rand equals a rugged path. Cf. The phrases teen grew, L 1707, row 3 e grew, L 1898. 1719 then wat 3 hit lif vpon list, etc. should we not read? Then wat 3 hit list vpon lif, etc. I. E. Then was there joy in life, etc. 1729 by lag equals belog, equals below. 1780 lif lef, beloved 1. 1869 ho hat 3 kissed thee nigh 3t so to 3t. She has kissed the knight so courteous, Sir F. Madden explains to 3t promptly. To 3t seems to be the same as the Northumbrian tat in the following extract from the Mort Arthur. There come in at the feast course, before the king Selwyn, bear heavities that wear brit, burnest with silver, alle with tat mean and town in togers full rich. p. 15. The word town, well-behaved, still exists in wonton, the original meaning of which was ill-mannered, ill-bred. 1909 Bray hound 3 equals brath hound 3, i.e. fierce hounds. 1995, he hat 3 near that he so 3t equals, he wot 3 near that he so 3t equals, he was near to that which he sought. 2160, Jedier 3 the rake equals takes the path or way. 2167 the esque 3 of the scouts skayed him though 3t. The shadows of the hills appeared wild desolate to him, Sir F. Madden reads skaned, of which he gives no explanation. Skayud scafed seems to be the n-prov. English scafe, wild, Scotch shavy, wild mad, on scafer. SW. Scef awry, distorted. 2204 range equals clattered. 2211 dreed.3, me no lote equals no noise, shall cause me to dread, fear. 2357 and therefore that tap ta thee, and therefore take thee that tap, ta thee equals take thee. Sir F. Madden reads taith equals taketh CL 413, where to thee rhymes with soth. We have no imperatives in th in this poem. 2401 we shin rule, etc. Sir F. Madden reads wash in rule, but shin equals shall. See glossary to alliterative poems. 2474, on coolda equals on cold equals, coldly equals sorrowfully. 2489 in sound equals soundly, well. Cf. In bland equals together, in lich alike, in mid 3 amidst.